All right, looks like we're good today. If I have time, there will be potentially a Bros Shows video this evening, a very short one. So here is the deal. A really good measure of just how full of shit or truthful people are is when they do or don't do the things that are free to them, and it's just a matter of courtesy. Like, and I'm not saying this in any other context other than these are the people when this is the case who give you this much praise all the time, always blowing smoke up your asshole. But the moment you say, "Hey, share one of our videos," or follow these other channels of mine, or if you're going to listen on the podcast instead of listening to it on Spotify where they steal ad rev, listen to it on Spreaker where they give something back to us. And then these simple things that would show that you actually care, like these people actually care, they don't do them. So it's not even about like, "Hey, why didn't you give me something on blah blah blah," or "Why didn't you get the house show?" It's like none of that. Just those things that don't cost them anything. They still don't do that. It's like the people act like they want the entertainment to continue. Gimme. But even like the simple things that doesn't do anything to take away from them, they still don't even do that. It's hard to take those people seriously when they tell you that, "I really love what you're doing." It's like, yeah, you do. That's funny. That's funny you would say that. Really, it's a lot of effort, and a lot of people take it for granted. And then they get mad at you, or they start calling you things like grifter and chill when you put all this time and effort. Like, who does put this much time and effort into something and is able to do that continuously without some sort of benefit coming from it? It doesn't make any sense, right? It would be considered like a hobby for somebody who's independently wealthy. And for a while when I was doing the store thing, yeah, when I had time, I didn't do streams, I did videos, and I was teaching myself how to do the editing. Yeah, it was fun. It was a hobby, but that's not how it should be treated for people who are independent doing things. Now, granted, nobody owes you, like this is what the adage is. No one's obligated to love you, right? Just because you're out there, no one's obligated to give a shit about your life. But if someone says that they do, and just because you're out there and you make a platform, or you're on a platform and you make a channel and you make content, doesn't mean that someone owes you anything either. Because number one, the content has to be useful to them or entertaining. And people should understand the difference between useful and entertaining, and when they cross, but still make sure that you understand the importance of the informational part, and not just the entertainment, and not to just treat it like another form of entertainment. Like, well, the episode's over, everything's all wrapped up, and the good guys won, and all of our problems have been resolved. No, because we're discussing real life issues here, and that is furthest from the truth. So we really need to focus very closely, like laser sharp, on this information. Laser focus. And become obsessive, because that's how males solve problems, is they don't stop thinking about them until they are resolved. And we need to fix problems before we can relax. A lot of them have built up, and many people in their own little microcosms have their stuff squared away. But as a whole, by and large, we're still living in a prison, just because your side of the your bunk in the in the boot camp, or your bunk, which is like a prison, or your bunk in the in the cell block is neat and tidy and well kept, it doesn't mean that you're not still in a prison. So we need to think a little bit more widely about each other and how we're going to pull through this, because staying isolated is very beneficial to the enemy. Staying away from each other, not being trusting. I'm not saying trust anything and let idiots come and raid your shit that you were smart enough to prepare with. I'm not saying that. You got to use wisdom. You have to use your noggin at all times. And you have to use your, the business end of your pew every once in a while too, even on people who you wouldn't have thought would have been an issue, right? Because people become opportunists awfully quick when in time of need. And there should be no hesitation against that. In fact, they should be made an example out of. It's probably the only way to stop a flood of that type of behavior, because that's how it goes. You send a tidal wave of fucking looters at a house or whatever, and it's gonna overtake the house just by sheer numbers, right? You might be able to pick off a bunch of them, but they're gonna get what they want, and you're gonna be either without or dead in the process. That's how, it's overwhelming, right? They overwhelm a particular. That's why I'm saying we can't just do this on our own. Why am I getting into this already? Well, because. What's your problem? Right off the bat. I felt I owed you to, just jump right into it today, because I'm a little late. I got Jim Beardsley from the airport, and his flight was late by about an hour. And then we went to Algodones, and he needed to stop like a bunch of times on the way there because he wanted to get stuff. And I was like, we're just going to stop here anyway. Why don't you just wait till we stop, and then we can do all that here? It's like, just pull over. Like, he's 88 years old. I'm not going to argue with him. So then I did that. And then the U-turn, he's like, I can walk from here. I'm like, dude, you can barely walk, period. I was like, I told you I was going to park back there, last parking spot before the border. And I was like, you kept saying the whole time that you had like a ride in from he was misunderstanding, or he was explaining it. Like he was going to have one of his people from the hotel waiting at the border for him, so that when he crossed over, they were just going to grab him, put it on a I think it's like a glorified golf cart, and then bring him to his hotel. It's not what was going on. So I'm like, dude, seriously? So you can't walk? I'm like, I would have brought my freaking passport and walked across with you if I had known that was going to be the case. But you made it sound like you were just going to be like, I was going to drop you off, someone else is going to pick you up, and you don't have to worry about shit. So, needless to say, even though we stopped and I got his bags out of the trunk, or not the trunk, but in the back of the van, and got everything all set, I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, we could have done this when we got to the U-turn part. I don't know why we're doing this ahead of time. Like, I gotta keep on pulling over for him and stuff like that. Like 4 times on this one strip of road. But I'm just listening to him, telling him, yeah. And then he said, because I was walking with him, he's like, okay, I'm got it from here. I'm like, yeah, sure, okay. I've followed him. I had the van running, and I was at the U-turn part, but I was parked, and I strapped his backpack to his, like, the handles for his carry-on thing. And he's walking, he's got a cane. He's like legally blind. I'm like, Jim, I'm walking with you the whole way. Just give me the damn bag. I'm going to carry it. Unless you're leaning on it like a walker, then don't make me, I'm not trying to pull the proverbial crutch out from underneath you or anything. But if you're dragging it and it's causing you more, grief, let me carry it. It's like 115 degrees out today. It was freaking retarded hot. And with that, I'm going to bring that to around full circle too, because I need some help, guys. Anyway, so he he and I get to the turnstile thing, like when you go into prison, because that's what it is when you go to another country. It's a prison exchange. You see the barbed wire, you see the big sign. It's a prison exchange. You're going from one prison to the next, cell block to cell block. Anyway, the turnstile there. I'm like, Jim, this is as far as I can go. I don't want to be here for 3 hours. I said, I'm sorry. I was like, if you absolutely need me, I'll do it. But they want a passport or a birth certificate. I brought neither because I was under the impression that this was going to pan out a whole different way. So he's like, well, we don't want to risk it. So he went through the turnstile thing. I kind of like pushed the back, the bag. I'm like, Jim, you're gonna have to carry this from here, or drag it from here, because he was like walking without looking at his bags. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I can't go with you here, and so I'm sure he's fine. But Jim Beardsley is the former private pilot for Ernst Zundel. Yeah, he knew Ernst very well. And Jim is also a retired disabled veteran, and he did a lot of work, I think, with the getting the information about the Liberty out. And he's been a journalist for a long time. He's kind of obviously he's retired from all that now, but interesting dude. It's like, when you're in your life, like you're this thing, and then when you're past it, you still have all those thoughts. You're still the same person, but you're also the human person too, and you have the frailties and you have the needs and stuff like that. And we're all going to get there someday. So if you ever have the opportunity to do things for other people, you should, because you're going to want those people around for you when you need them. That's assuming that we're not all starved to death by the Bolsheviks or executed into a small grave or a mass grave. With great, shallow, deep, bulldozed, whatever. You know what I mean? Okay. So a couple things. I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again, because why wouldn't you do this every single time? All right, you see, when I stand up, take a look at the shirt. I want you guys to look at the site, and I want you to really think about it. I saw somebody wearing this shirt today at the airport, and it made me remember when I used to do volunteer work. It was only like a couple weekends, but Rebecca and I volunteered. Our daughter was there enjoying the animals. And this place called Saddles of Joy is animal therapy for people, for children, for young adults, for people who have disabilities, right? It's animal therapy. And it got me thinking, and I'll tell you in a second. So I shoveled poop. I did all the kinds of stuff. Pitchforking hay and straw and all that, and feeding animals and all that good stuff. And I did the dirty works and the heavy stuff for a couple really hot days. And so anyhow, things like that. Yeah, you should always support those things too. But I saw a girl/woman, not exactly youthful, but mentally childish, right? Childlike, wearing one of these shirts today when I was picking up Jim. And again, since I sweat through the other shirt, and I'll talk about that in a second. I swapped out, and I said, what, Saddles of Joy? I saw it today. Might as well wear it today, and talk about the thing that they do and why I think it's a good thing. But anyhow, yeah, it makes you wonder. People say, because facial expressions are one thing. People judge intellect based on facial expressions. Number one, you got to remind yourself that when you went around most of your life thinking that people were at least a certain level of intelligence, and then there was such like the really smart people, but most people were probably about your level, and their comprehension skills were right about there, and their morality was like right about the same, ethics, virtues, all those things that they held sacred that they would never break or that they had a good handle on. They had a character, substance, nobility, integrity. Remember how you used to think all those naive things, and you found out as you got older that none of that's fucking true. Like, you are unique. You're the thing that you thought everybody else was like. You're actually up here when it comes to your level of purity and your intellect and your kindness and your genuine nature. Whereas other people you just assumed was that way, and probably why you probably were disappointed a lot in life or screwed over by people because you figured everybody was at least starting out at some sort of standard bar, and that was all misunderstanding and untrue. So again, take that into consideration when you think about how other people perceive people with, like, say, Down syndrome or something like that. They're going based off of very superficial facial expression, gesture, observation as to whether the value of a person's life, right? Which is disgusting, because just because somebody's facial expressions have a certain look to them doesn't mean that they're not fully capable of complex feelings and complex thoughts. And I say that because what's more complex than empathy, love, and compassion? You can't bring me a basket of love or compassion. It comes from something else. It comes from a connection, a tether, and just because it's a more pure connection without all these other considerations where, it's like defensive, self-protective, then it turns into self-serving little filters or, bends in the trail for most people. They're like, yeah, I would, I feel that, but I have to put up all these safeguards so that I don't get hurt or whatever the case is. And then it turns into being cynical. Then it turns into being selfish. Then it turns into, you don't even have that love anymore. You're just an asshole, right? There's people that the stages as they go on through life, they get further and further away from their innocence, and then it's gone. So you tell me, what's more, what has more value? The people who give you 100% without all those extra hoops and hurdles, or somebody who is so, it's like a landmine. It's like a minefield. It's like a gauntlet to try to navigate. So I'm just saying, I wouldn't write people off who give you 100% love, and that should be the thing that overpowers your cynicism or your own defenses, right? Understanding that it is pure and it's not going to hurt you, that should trigger or speak to the thing that, if you have it in you, that is that empathy, that love, it should just drive a drill hole right through all that other bullshit and get right to the good part of you, and it should connect with that to where you would never hurt that person who is pure. And if you are the type of person who could, you may reconsider what you are, because I think you might be evil. And if you're just going to say harsh things to people who have disabilities, do you think they chose that? Don't give me that karmic shit either. Oh, we all chose to be... Fuck off. Stop seeing certain things as a mistake and see them as a gift. And it's another opportunity for people who have other abilities to nurture and protect, preserve, and reciprocate the type of love that they give to you. That's why people have pets. And I'm not trying to conflate the two or try to relate to. I'm just simply saying this is a practice you could get into if you do actually have empathy and you're trying to dig it back out of the fucking hole, the rut that life puts it in. You know, did you ever see Army of Darkness? He's like, "What's that? What's that you got on your face?" And he throws a shovel of dirt on the on the evil Ash's face. Hey, what's that you got on your face? I got to get that clip out. Okay, so all that, right? Just things I was thinking about. And just one more thing before we move on. You're not going to be able to see it too well because the green cap or whatever, but this is Nate's 100% pure, organic, raw, and unfiltered honey. This is one called Local Hive Southwest. Can you guess? Can you guess which one I like better? Can you guess which one I like better? Oh, man. This is amazing. This Local Hive one here. This is not an advertisement. This one tastes like I just face fucked a bowl of potpourri. It's freaking wildflower, like it just tastes like a shit ton of flowers without and maybe a little bit of sugar. It's like it's too overpowering. It's not tasty. And it's organic. It's organic. What, dude? Like, what the hell were these? What were these bees doing? This one is absolutely freaking amazing. And I should have just grabbed one more of these. But I was like, I'll take a chance on this one because it says organic and shit, and it says raw and unfiltered. How could it be much different from this other one that's raw and unfiltered? It can be very different. Very different. Very different. And for those out there who are like, try the orange blossom shit. I have a aversion to orange blossoms. I lived in Florida for just a few years, and I had to drive by the freaking orange groves. And when that stench, some people say fragrance, when that stench gets into your vehicle and into your vents and like chokes you out, that's like not face fucking the bowl of potpourri. That's like the bowl of potpourri face fucking you. It is quite the overpowering experience. So I would prefer not to indulge in honey that was orange blossom either. Just saying. All right, let's get into it, mofos. I gotta do a refresh on this jigger. Too hard to get over, too low to get under. I think it's You Got to Take Pride in Something, that Michael Jackson song, but I would sing it as a pastiche. Because a parody is different. You're making fun of the song of the singer when you do a parody. When you do a pastiche, you're just using their tune and their rhythm and their beat and just telling a different story. That's a pastiche, right? So like what Weird Al does are pastiche by and large. So I would sing like, you got to get high on something instead of you got to take pride in something. You got to get high on something. You got to get high on something. I do many of these stupid songs in my head all day just to be funny, like goofy. I'm a goofy fuck. All right, look above you. Not that. What the hell just happened again? Stop it. There it goes. B-Day Girl. Please. See these? You know how you get those? You get the 90 essential nutrients over at my website. That's how you get these. Or something bigger and more impressive. But B-Day Girl. 10% off. Semper Fry LLC. Do you want to know why I said it like that? I'm going to freaking tell you. This is like me like strapping you into a chair and showing you my slideshows from my vacation. That's what we're doing right now. I'm torturing you like Cartman. No, please, no. This is so boring. The Genghis Khan. What? The Genghis Khan with the and mine hers. What the fuck am I looking at? Oh, that's funny. Be the whole bitch. I like that. That's hilarious. Fender Guitar CEO is a weasel. If you're gonna be a bitch, be the whole bitch. I like what Louis Rossman says. It's funny. Hold on, I gotta get you this though. Let's do it. Wait, what the fuck? Just
hey everybody, how's it
going? Shut up! Not yet. Let's go to your own channel. Videos. It's the very first one on our channel. Here we go. Hold on. You'll see it in a second. It's one whole goddamn minute. It was made 11 years ago. Clavicular botched nose job. Dun dun dun. Who cares? Who fucking cares? I'll make fun of it later. Maybe. Let's see. I'll yeah, I'll open that new tab too. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Oh, no way. Homosexuality and pre-code cartoons? No way. We gotta look at that. Because that's obviously freaking social engineering. Not fucking this. Alright, hold on. Where are we at? There we go. What the I'm over here, bro. Let's get Rumble open here real quick. Alright, here we go on. It says lots of things. First of all, just got back. Give me a couple minutes. Oh, that was me. You're giving. Hi, Karen. Did I misunderstand that you saw Beardsley again today, or was that yours? No, that was today. Yeah, I did see him. And Karen says, empathy, love, and compassion are the purest form of a person, in my humble opinion, and authenticity. Absolutely beautiful, Daniel well said. Nagurski said, neat dog. Face after bowl of potpourri. I just spit my coffee out. Don't forget to change the screen before the videos. Yeah, gotcha. Stay goofy as long as you can, Daniel. Yeah, right. As long as you can. My van's all sorts of jackaroon right now. I was having some issues. I need to get either something. I don't know what it is. It's not good. It's getting worse. And it's not good, and it's sticking because I guarantee you it has to do with the misfires. So it's not because of the transmission itself that's fucked. It's the getting enough goosing enough of because you can be idle and turn it over, and then you can hit the throttle, and you'll hear either something strong followed by something popping and something weak. And that's got to be the misfires, or it's got to be some other thing. It's fuel injector clogging, shitty freaking any one of those things from the fuel injector on over to the the fuel pumps to the injectors to the coils to the spark plugs. And that, by the way, that gas cap that said it was for the one that I got a link to sent to me by D-Bot. I looked at it and it said, yeah, Ford E150 2004. Guess what? Doesn't fucking fit. Send it back already. Didn't even have the same threading on it. It was completely fucking way off. And I was like, is this really how they fucking do things? So I had to inform Amazon that they were wrong. I haven't gotten another one. I don't have $10 to do anything that's not essential right now. I don't care what's going on there. I can't fucking guys. If you're trying to contact me, do it on Telegram, okay? This thing doesn't. I can't do anything. It's gone. It's gone and I can't replace it, as I was saying. So I in not in the whatever. With not having a phone today, I dusted, cleaned. I get yelled at for picking up too much of her clutter, but it has to start getting done because so I'm just throwing shit in boxes. Look through it. If you haven't used it and it's full of dust or some other bullshit, throw it the fuck out, you know? And I'm going to just start doing that because I'm tired of it. We don't need to live being buried by our own bullshit. So this corner is all nice and clean. I cleaned off most of the table over here, and I'm just going to keep going and going every day. I kind of like not having the phone. This is how you distract yourself from the hell that you're immersed in. Taking that away means you have to deal with it, and then shit gets done. Let's see. Yay, boxes. It's the start. Well, it's just a bunch of stuff thrown in one, and I just want but they already do that. Like she makes a bunch of shit and then she crams it into a corner. Like, how about cramming into the garbage? Let me have access to my pool table. Don't take the whole front of the house. One of her friends came over today to pick up something that Farrah had forgotten. One of her friends, she runs like a mom's homeschool mom like group center called the family room. And she came in and she looked, and I'm like, I hope Rebecca hears something about this because I want her to feel embarrassed. I want her to feel embarrassed about how she treats the front of her house. I want her to have shame so that she starts fucking fixing it. I want her to be embarrassed by it so that she doesn't think that it's okay to just ignore her. And I'm embarrassed. I don't like people coming over the house because of it. And it's not as bad as I'm making out to be, but I don't live like that. I've never lived like that. I take shit. I don't have, weird, crazy attachments to trash. If it's garbage and I haven't used it, I throw it the fuck out. Gladly. I can't stand the clutter. And then making shelves for clutter. It's like, it's bullshit in the first place. Throw it the fuck out. So things are just going to end up disappearing when she's off doing her own thing. That's provided I don't have to be gone more here because something's not great. I'm like waiting on this freaking wholesale order, which still hasn't shown up yet. He said he was going to send it, and I have every day he doesn't fucking send it. That's one less day I have to make it before the end of the month. So there you go. And now I'm like, okay, cool. Now the van's fucking up, and even just having your foot on the gas turns off the fucking AC, which makes it impossible to drive in this heat. So when I leave to go to San Diego, I'm going to have to do it at nighttime, which is never how I do it. And it's going to fucking suck. I don't know why my van used to be amazing. I've spent so much time in it. I stayed overnight in it shit tons of times, doing these huge long trips. It's been like my buddy. I get my laptop in there, get all kinds of stuff. Everything's all set up. The AC worked awesome. And then the AC went, and I had it fixed, and the fucking retard didn't fix it so that the rear AC was blowing cold again, too. I don't know how you can be a mechanic and be that much of a fuck up. And then a year later, I don't know if it's a clutch. I don't know what the fuck the problem is. But it's not like I'm... So, okay. If there's problems with misfiring, if there is a potential, like there's not enough gear grease in the rear differential, and maybe there's something like causing it to like overwork so that maybe it's actually spinning more, and maybe that's why there's more gas. There's so many fucking things that could possibly maybe kind of sort of, lead to the fact that even when you just touch the gas now, it cuts off the fucking AC to the top vents. I can't live like that. I have shims on my driver's side and my passenger side door, so they don't fall into the fucking door and cost me $180 each to fix or more. So I'm hot boxed in there, and then no AC. It's a fucking death trap now. All these fucking stupid things, all these stupid gay things that have been falling apart. Every time I think, oh, I'm going to have money this month to fix it, I hold off and think to myself, well, you know what happens after this month? The following month. Hold on to it in case other things don't turn out the way you think they are. Lo and behold, I have to fucking use the money. This is going on for 10 fucking months or longer. I never fucking lived like this, motherfuckers. I had plenty. I never bought anything new. I kept up older shit. When I had the store going and it was pre-COVID, we never fucking wanted for shit. I built all that myself. And now here I am. Like a fucking retard, like somebody who never did anything. And it's so much fucking effort to go right back into this thing again, and I'm doing it. But everything that I've learned how to fucking tackle a project is completely changed now. It's not how it works anymore. You can't, it's like, even if you're trying to like, get something on the side, you're not even allowed to go in person like you're supposed to and talk to someone face to face anymore. It's got to be impersonal through the fucking internet, through a fucking website. Everything's fucking backward. That's not integral. That's like the passive aggressive way of showing that you don't really care to fucking do something, and you're doing it in the pussy fashion. That's what it used to mean. It's like people wouldn't even take these like applications seriously because you did it on the internet. Now it's like that's what they need. They won't take it any other way. And you know why? Because they're scanning all your information, even though they don't tell you this. All of your history of all your life before they even consider you for shit on these bigger corps. So if they don't like something in your history, you're not even going to get a call back. Karen says, ooh, don't get me started on losing everything. I'm a freaking loser now because I'm not anymore rich. Right. People are so freaking shallow. Pisses me off. Yeah. But you know what's funny? Today was an example, and anybody who actually points this out is an asshole. So I guess today, because I'm just using it as an example, I guess I'm that asshole. Even though it hasn't been great, I've been making efforts, and I've come through so many freaking times and over achieved, but never like know what's going to happen next type of shit, which I hate. So many times since 2022. And in that period of time, even if I didn't have a shit ton, I did all the little things that I could for other people. I'm not like once family was daughter and Rebecca taken care of, I would help other people. I just do. Because it's what you're supposed to do when you know that they need help. Or if they ask you for something. Like today, given everything that's going on with me, should I have gotten things that I knew that, was going to cost me money to give to the guy? But I did it anyway. He said he likes the Ensure chocolate meal replacement things. So I went to the store and got it for him before I picked him up. And he had like a really long flight apparently, and layovers and all that. So he was excited to see it. So it's just, you just do what you're supposed to do. If you see garbage on the ground, you clean it. If you see shit, you clean it. If you see shit outside, like a big pile of fucking leaves or a big spread out area of leaves, you rake and sweep the shit. If it's concrete, you sweep it. You don't want to really rake that. It's not going to, especially if they're tiny things. You get it. You get the tool for the job. So yeah. So anyway, I just, if somebody followed me around, I don't care. This is what bothers. It's not that what bothers me. It just, I always think if only these pieces of shit knew. There's no way they could feel good about themselves. Not that they care, because I'm assuming that they function like regular, natural living beings like ourselves, which is obviously not what they do because of what they are engaged in the first place, which is being trolls and retards on the internet. But if they followed me around for one day, they would feel ashamed of themselves, because they would see the real person, and there was not only would they not be able to take fault in anything that I do, but unless they're an evil individual, heartless, shallow, and cold, they'd either be inspired by to be better themselves. Like, I had a cousin named Pete. Like, there's certain people around that just with being in their presence, you want to be a better person. They inspire you to raise the stakes, raise your standards, set the bar higher for yourself. And anyway, it says, yep, I can see that in you. You've been there for me in crisis in the middle of the night. You're a good person, and F the asshats that can't or refuse to see your true heart. See, this is why I think it's funny that, like, I do these shopping carts things, all the things. It's just, it's an overall thing that you are that thing, and you don't even think about it. It's just, it's right. And that doing so make your grandmother, if she was still here, proud, your grandfather, your dad, if he saw you. Like, it's just that thing. You're doing right. You learned. And whatever. It's whatever. What was that? But that's what I think it's funny, is like when people, then you come across people who are just absolute dishonest with themselves. They're one of these things. They're a dumpster fire waiting to happen. And they don't even, I don't think they had the comprehension level to understand that other people are sincere this way, and it's not just something that you LARP to for making that impression on other people. Like, I don't even think that they understand that this is the actual natural state of some people. I think they all think that people engage in this to deceive others into thinking that they're good, when that's not the case. There's people who are doing it because that's what they are. And then there's them who just say things but never follow through in their actions. And it's like, okay, well, all you would have to do really is, like, instead of watch the show on Spotify or listen to it on Spotify, you could just listen to it on Spreaker. And they wouldn't even fucking go do that much. Or they won't share something. Or they won't follow another channel that you asked them to follow. Like, that's the level of people that we're dealing with. They nod, yeah. The moment they're fucking out the door, it's like that cock-sucking piece of shit Archangel, for one thing. I gave him airtime. I gave him, kind words, encouragement, all that shit. And he was such a phony that when I was describing what I need to share with people, if they want me to continue to fucking do this and it's actually beneficial to them, he would make snide cocksucker remarks like he and I didn't talk, like we don't have like a bond about, oh, it's another one of these fucking shows. Excuse me, asshole? Excuse me? The 90 essential nutrients are fucking important, dude. Dr. Glidden's membership is fucking important, dude. It could save people's lives, you piece of shit. Yes, I'm going to discuss that. And when they're helping themselves, they can also keep this thing here going. And if they like both things, their life and this show, why wouldn't they want me to talk about it? It's only somebody who has absolutely no, and I mean no, interest and no intent to ever be two-sided. It's not a two-way street with them. It's you give, he take, end of story. And when he's not absorbing and sucking in your fucking soul and your energy and your life force, he gets pissy like a little fucking bitch. So, and there's a lot of archangel people out there. Anyhow. All right, so let me go back to I want to show you this thing real quick. This is back about 11 years ago. And it's an old video. 11-year-old video. How was your video making back then? Shut up then.
Sepper Fry LLC.
That was that sound. That's why I said it like that earlier.
Hey, bacon lovers, try When Pigs Fly. Real applewood smoked bacon and maple syrup. Add your eggs, you got your breakfast in a bottle. Here's our awesome avocado. Featured at the Wave Cafe in Imperial Beach, they replaced all their other hot sauces for this one. Delicious avocados locally grown in Escondido. Our feature sauce this month is our local band member and good friend Andy Mensing for our Smoke Boss hot sauce with chipotle.
Nice.
And from our line of herbal infused honeys, we have a rosemary lemon infused in a 3.5-week process with sage, rosemary, and lemon. Try yours. Add a kick to your honey with our herbal infused honey with a kick. Local clover honey, sage, Carolina Reaper pepper, and the Thai pepper. All herbally infused for 3.5 weeks. Sepper Fry LLC.
Now, the only thing that's changed there is we don't do the one that's not spicy, the honey anymore. Rebecca could make that one again. But the one that you see on the website, which I'm just going to go to now, because that's called, they call that a segue. What are you saying, Nagurski? Now, I'm jaded. He was an asshole. He talked shit about me on and would try to make a stink and turn people against me in the fucking live chat after we had been what I thought, establishing like an acquaintance or a friendship. He would do that type of shit because something that I was saying or how I was saying, oh, it's going to be this pussy position to and it's like, no, I'm building. This is what you do when you do radio or you do a podcast or you do a show. You build up to a certain thing. And if it's like, oh, I'm sorry, did I not dance around for you the way you wanted me to, you fucking cocksucker? So, no, fuck him. And Nagurski, chill, man. So yeah. SemperFryLLC.com, right here. What did I change today? I did something different today. Forgot what it was. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember now. All right, so this right here, it does still have the Reaper mash, and then it also has, Maruga Scorpion. Excuse me, Maruga Scorpion mash, and there's a crushed smoked ghost pepper that is seeped in it, and then it's all filtered out along with the actual sage. So it all goes into the process when it starts, and it's like a 3-week seeping process and all that, and then it's filtered through like that. I don't know what they call that cloth. That cloth that does that thing, and then it's all all nice and filtered, and then put in bottles. You gotta slow heat it. You gotta let it cool. You gotta slow heat it. You gotta let it cool in order for the spice to really and the sage to really take. I don't see. This is what I mean about this fucking web. Who are these people? Hold on. I'm gonna shut this shit down for good now. Jive Turkey USA, you're a fucking retard, dude. No. Fuck off. I'm just going to stop. I'm not going to subscribe to you anymore because you can't do, okay, if you're a channel and you upload 50 fucking videos a day and the notifications that you can't even, look, can I turn them off? I guess I can. All right, well that's better. But I'm not. Fuck him anyway for doing the way what he did. Even if I like something, it's like all the freaking time. Since we've been on here, I've received five pop-ups, all from the same guy. It's just what they do, like obsessive compulsive, all day long. And I walked into my email the other day, and the whole freaking thing, BitChute for fucking pages, and it was all the same fucking account. That one, and there's another one that pops up all the time too. I can't remember. I've shown one of their videos before. Dark to Light or something like that, which is again one of those stupid. That was one of those gay QAnon like phrases, right? I should have known. They've moved on from that type of information, I guess, but that's why I didn't really put too much into it. But they're the same. They're either a crazy bot thing, or they're just constantly. I don't even think you can do repost on BitChute. You can do it on Odyssey. You can just go ahead and rip people's shit and hit. There's actually a repost button. There's a repost button on Rumble as well. In which, by the way, see that right there? That's another way you could support the show. It takes 2 seconds for you to actually make your account a channel. It's really freaking simple. It's like super easy. And then you just hit the repost. You want to support? Hit the repost. Because I'm pretty sure when you do that, it still goes to the original person. It's not like it rips it and puts it on your channel. I think with Odyssey, it kind of like rips it and puts it on your channel, which is counterintuitive to people who are trying to see what how effective their video was. If they have to look every place else to see, count the totals. Anyhow, have a look at this. It says we have been dramatically softened. What did I do? Did I move away from something by accident? Yeah, I did. So anyway, this was I already talked about this. It's super freaking tasty, by the way. This stuff won't be on there anymore. We used to do this with the honey like stick there, and the charm was discontinued by the people that we used to get it from. And this is a hot glue gun deal with a flower on top, like a sunflower onto the cap. And we just time did not permit for us. But when we did our first product launch of this in the new skinny bottle and all that, or Rebecca, I should say, made them look really nice. But that's how they come though, like that. Some faggot was like, mess sage in a bottle, huh? You're really, really stretching that one. I'm like, hey, faggot, there's sage in it. So fuck off. Person who's never had any clever thought or creative thought in their head before. Leave other people who do have those thoughts alone. Okay. All right. And it says, we have been dramatically softened, weakened, poisoned via ingestion and poisoned in the mind. Once many were mighty, noble, honorable, integral, and great leaders of men. They made things happen. They didn't wait for them to happen. They didn't wait for a fucking savior, like a bunch of freaking cucked men. They didn't shirk or shrink away and just see what happens. Well, yeah. Let's just see what happens and see how it pans out. They followed a code. Their conduct didn't disgrace them as men. It did not disgrace them as men. They followed a code. Then along came a parasite, and his technology was the final element in the strategic destruction of the guardians of God's realm. Now, I'm not just talking about gooning. I'm talking about all the distractions, all the anxieties, all the everything's about to end tomorrow type of shit, which all of that is probably pretty fucking close to being true. But as long as you're hyper focused on that, you know where your energy is going? Right to fulfilling that prophecy, right to making that thing, the very thing that you're trying to avoid happen. Asmongold's a piece of shit, by the way. Did I mention that? This freaking ugly degenerate here. He's a horrific human being. Just like he looks. Just the same way. Look at this guy. If you saw him, you'd be like, is this a homeless freaking guy who's going to like try to rob me or ask me for money for meth? Did he just come out of a van that's parked by a beach? This is what it looks like to me. Now, he's more wealthy than any of us put together times 10 because, you know, certain people just are able to do that on the internet. I am not one of them because they won't let me. Because I guess I burned I burned my only golden ticket to the fucking Wonka factory by trying to warn people not to harm themselves or their children with the COVID shots or any other vaccine. And I started doing that prior to the coronavirus era. All right. Well, anyway, moving on. Oh, I gotta open this up in a new tab here. Hold on. Whoops, wrong one. How's that the wrong fucking button? There it is. Dude, stop being a gay. All right, let's see what we got. Aloha snack bar, brother, said Edward Snowman. Thank you, Edward Snowman. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated, sir. Yeah, society this is Edward again. Society collectively has built up a lot of technical debt. Maybe not in such explicit terms. A Pac-Man 40 says, imagine if our country was run by people who had actually accomplished great things. Then when 60 plus were elected to lead. Yeah. Nice video. Wallets at the farm market. Beware. Was that a hot dog? Was that a hot sauce girl? Was that hot sauce girl Rebecca? Yep, that was her. Yeah, Asmongold as in Mongoloid. Is that where you're going at? Yeah. As in Asmund Goldstein with his beady eyes all close together and creepy looking. Happy Cinco de Daniel, says A Pac-Man 40. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm gonna do a I'm gonna have to do all kinds of getting down on near the ground. Just walking outside is enough to make you melt on the pavement. Kneeling down where the heat is hotter, like it's like, you know, radiating off the ground as well as just being super hot, and doing any kind of work, just sticking your head underneath to see if you need, you know, to pull the plug out to test to see if you need to add rear diff is going to be enough to make me just pour sweat into a puddle on the ground. But I gotta go because somebody likes to bury us alive in fucking dog shit. I'm gonna have to try to find where my rear diff is in the garage. I had that everything fucking immaculate, and then the invasion of fucking boxes came. I had so much room in that garage. I kept everything. This is how I live. How I live is clutter free, open space. I prefer even minimalism and furniture. I like the fucking space. She likes to fill that space with fucking chaos, and it drives me insane. We are not compatible. I love her, but we're not compatible. I don't smoke marijuana. She has this little fucking vape she carries around with her. I don't like any of that stuff. I don't like when people don't realize when they fucking change their personalities and are very overly offended by everything. I don't like that lifestyle. I'm very squared away. I'm very straight and narrow. I'm very fucking like immaculate. I don't like all that other shit. I could have chaos up here, but it doesn't translate to chaos out here. Okay, cool. I will. I just had a feeling like when I'm not sure what it is, but when I was first pull out in the driveway, like they repaved it. So at first I was like, I'm just going in for some bumpy stuff. And then I'm starting to think, is that the gearbox? And is it just getting? Is it like like at first and making it feel weird? And if that's the case, is there stripping going on or something where the reason why could be other issues with power is because it's not catching the way it's supposed to when I'm hitting this is all just shit that goes on in my head. I don't know how valid any of it is. You know, I'm just going off on tangents because I just like I'm thinking to myself, I better just think about it because I can't do anything about it. So think away, because that's all you can do with it right now. It's like the biggest insult in the world is to have the one thing that I used to love riding in that van so much, and to have the AC start fucking with me right now in the hottest part of the year. It's just fuck you, demons. Fuck you, demons that own this place. Stripping us like this. The people who have all of the wealth in the world, they don't get kicked out while they're down. They're the ones doing the kicking. See, if you see all this, besides that one stripe thing, it's all the same fucking people. It's all the same shit. I already deleted a shit ton of them already. Like, lots and lots. Deleted items, 82. That was just like for the 2 days. You probably didn't even see that because it's on the bottom tab. So everything about computers are fucking gay. Let me get to, where am I trying to go here? All right, there it is. Let's get rid of that. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I care about that. What we have coming up is, get the fuck out of the way. At 1,250, which we're not. This is what, all right. I'm getting less and less impressed by the secret teachings, or at least I should say the host. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a one-off. I kind of spoke my mind, and I don't, you know, anybody can read anything. I didn't write it with animosity. And you can't assume, what do you call it? Tone of voice in a text format. And people who do are doing so because they have chosen to be offended, right? You have to, if you're a wise and intelligent person, give people the benefit of the doubt that, hey, maybe you didn't read that with the same intent that they had. There might be times when it's obvious, but there could also be times when people are passionately talking with you and not at you. And if you take it the wrong way, you might be mad at them when they thought that they were bonding with you by reinforcing aggressively what you were saying. That wasn't how I presented the stuff, but I was just saying, because I didn't agree with a couple things that I had seen in a couple of his breakdowns that I happened to be watching. I'm like, yeah, I don't know why that was why that tangent was so long and why you went so, doubled down on it when to me it was pretty obvious that that's not what that meant at all in regards to what we talked about with David Wilcock. Stupid thoughts, like it wasn't, it's like that's not that deep. But I think some certain people just they can't take criticism. So I don't know if that's true or not. But the whole idea, like last night, I was listening to it on the laptop because my phone's broken, as you know, and so I brought the laptop out, and lo and behold, you can still Bluetooth it to the big speaker, so that was cool. But I was listening to, and his audio is bad. Like my audio on my Rumble, I thought wasn't loud. He's a podcaster, and I had it cranked way the fuck up. Like if you have bass boost on your phone, doesn't make a difference. It's fine. But if you don't have bass boost on your phone, when I put on my Rumble video afterwards, to like, I do this sometimes to critique myself or just see if I want to clip anything. And it was blasting my ears. It woke up my daughter. I'm like, well, okay, yeah, there's a big difference between his podcast and when I present on Rumble. But this whole idea that 250, we're not 250 years old. They're going based off of, first of all, they're going based off of 1776. That's the first problem. 1789, sometimes you can even argue 91 is when the real starting time should be. So already that's inaccurate. But the other problem is by 1862 and officially dead by 1865, there was no the country that began with the principles and structure and let's see, relationship between leadership as an extension of the people rather than to overpower the people, that all died. That all died in 1862, was cremated in 1865. So at the very most, you have really like 75 years before they got us. And if you want to start with 1776, then you can add a little bit more. But we didn't even make 100 years. We did not make 100 years. That's when it was dead. That's when the Fabian Society model, I'm not saying the Fabian Society, I'm saying Fabian Society model was implemented. You wear the carcass of the dead freaking republic around so that people still think that that's what they're under, so they don't get curious or worried. And this is how they've infiltrated every single country and every single territory. When it was Rome or some other place, Rome was allowed all religions, but you also had the state religion, right? So it doesn't matter if they don't have much of an identity until they pretend that an identity that they don't actually have any roots in. Does that make sense? Like they made it up out of full cloth, but then that became their theme. That became their angle. Prior to that, all throughout history, they would just co-opt whatever religious superstition there was, and the priestcraft would then, what the fuck? What the hell? What the hell? What the fuck just happened? What the fuck just happened? What is going on? Why did I go to TV? Was I gone that whole time? I just moved I didn't touch anything. Fucking piece of shit. Changed me over to TV. But anyway, I was trying to get to the book and say they will co-opt whatever religion there is and then implement their attributes and their ways of doing things into it and terraform it into their cult. They care not the names, they care not what you call certain things, provided you're actually serving the evil, the demon, which doesn't care what you call it, provided you're doing the things, the sacrifices, the torturers, all the stuff that they get off on. It's the priestcraft. That even happens with Baal. Everything that we don't like about Baal or Marduk or any of these other, it's that moon cult, that mother son cult, mother son SON, not SUN, mother son cult, which is, yes, it is most certainly incestuous, like Tammuz and all those. These are very sick, disgusting cults, often portrayed as being neutral or good, but then you look at the actual attributes, and then people will be like, "That's symbolic." No, it isn't. No, it is not. It is not. So anyway, Ryan had said something about, he went on and on and on and on about the biggest problems in America where was the idiocracy circus that they did on Sunday. I'm like, that's the biggest problem. It's not the fact that we're incorporated in a prison and about to be killed. It's because they had motocross, Fuel TV or whatever the hell it's called, Nitro, and a UFC event. That's what put us over the edge. That's the thing. It's not that we've been in a misunderstanding, a false impression of who actually ran this country, and thinking that we had a government when we had a corporate, and not even high end corporate executives with suits on, pretending the roles of government and representatives on TV and in municipalities and whatnot, and state senates and all that, where they have no loyalty to the people because the people aren't shareholders. The people aren't even employees. They're property of the corporation. Property doesn't get a vote. No one cares what property thinks. No one gives property any regard as far as what rights property has. It's property. It's not treated like a human. They made us a fictitious entity on purpose, and they're treating us as such. This is part of the spell, part of the cult, part of the evil. And remember, contracts. If anybody's ever watched cartoons, you know who was doing the contracts. It was the devil. The devil in the cartoons, anyway. But you know what that is? This is all that legalese, law, fair bullshit. It's the word magic. It's all the nonsense. And then the contract, because in their sick little understanding of the esoteric or the metaphysical plane, when you sign something, that gives license, that gives consent, that gives all the things, regardless if you're deceived or not. They don't seem to care about that as much as they pretended to care about that in our republic. It's like you can't just sign a contract with somebody who's got, an inability to comprehend what they're signing, or they weren't given the opportunity to understand it, or they were tricked. You can make a contract null and void with that. On paper, you can. Like, in theory, you can, but not if it benefits the demon. Then it can't. It's only on the smaller level, when it's people that they hate versus people that they hate, that they want to see bad things happen to both. Then they can let them argue and to see, does somebody get out of something? Maybe. And guess who will handle that? Of course, the lawyers that are the Jews, right? Still making money off of somebody else's misery. So Rockefeller and Company worked to refound America with color revolution. Well, they already have it, so I'm not sure why they have to found it. And I don't understand who's at 250. Nobody is. No one's at 250. It wasn't the 250th anniversary of fucking shit. People need to get that through their goddamn heads. And anybody who repeats that is part of the problem. They may not know it. It's not a reason to be hostile with people, but it is your duty to correct them so that they don't go around saying stupid shit continuously. Oh, this is on Rumble. All right, I'm going to pop this on real quick. What the why did it do that? Stop! All right, let's have a look. I'm not a huge fan of Newman. I met him before. Not a huge fan of anything to do with New American because it's tied in with the John Birch Society and it's tied in with Rockefeller. Funny enough that they're saying Rockefeller and Company. Yeah, Nelson Rockefeller funded through a very strange, crazy purchase of John Welch's candy company, Nabiscuit Company, National Biscuit Company, was Nelson Rockefeller's. He's the one who paid like 20 times more than the value of John John Welsh's candy company, which Robert Welsh had already sold to his brother during the Depression, his candy company. So John had it, and he had his brother as an employee. Robert Welsh went on to create himself, of course. Certainly not a Rockefeller idea at all. The John Birch Society, the controlled op to counter communism. Unless you do something like Depew, then they call him the shill, right? Or other people like Oliver, I think it really OP Oliver or whatever. That whenever people did things that were actually going to, I don't know, make a dent, rather than writing your congressman, which isn't really your congressman, he's just a low level corporate executive that has nothing. Who has in reality no ties or obligations to do anything for you, because that's not who is actually operating him. That's real helpful. None of these people have ever told you about the incorporation, so none of them are actually telling you the truth about shit. And yeah, so anyway, after paying twice, I think it was either 10 or 20 times more than it was worth for some reason, because that's not what corporations do. And then when they acquire, mergers and acquisitions, they never keep the CEO of the company and give him a high level position role in their company to run the same company that they already had. What the fuck is the point of that? High level pay for 15 years after they bought it. This was some other deal. Typically, everybody is flash, like, what do you call it? Slash and burns, like totally fired in a company, and it's refaced if they even decide to keep it, not just, bury it. But yet this is a very unique situation that they had. And then they had all the money that they needed to have their little John Birch Society. And they can say all the right things. It doesn't matter what they say. It matters what they do and what they teach you. And they teach you how to be ineffective. And they limit you when you actually go beyond that. And they criticize you. And then they might even, I don't know, sometimes they might turn on you or turn you in to other people who, of course, if you're not smart enough, you to think, oh, the feds are the good guys, or they're the people that you go to when you have problems at high levels. No, the feds are the demons. The feds protect the Federal Reserve, not anything. Everything's Fed since the Federal Reserve does nothing before. I'm not saying nothing but nothing before their first obligation, which is protect the banking cult's interest here in this country, which is like the same thing as saying protect the corporation that is actually the government of the place. They don't care about the people. It's not about protecting the people. It's not about justice or whatever. It's about protecting the assets and the interests of the corporatocracy / banking cult. So we'll play a little bit of this. I'm going to go see. I think I hear peeps. What is going on? Are we fucking serious? What? Why did it keep... What? Hold on. Why does it keep jumping like that? I go to hit open, and it fucking flipped it. I don't even care anymore.
250th anniversary.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't, Alex. I saw him at Red Pill a few years ago. Wasn't impressed then either. I'm going to cop blah 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 in Egypt. Yeah, good for you, fucker. Good for fucking you.
Country's independence coming up. A lot of Americans are making plans.
Isn't Newman a Jewish name?
On how they're going to celebrate. Fireworks, hot dogs, barbecues, friends, maybe...
Oh, by the way, up until recently, and they only do it because it's a popular thing to do, and it's just another honeypot trap, they would ostracize you in the John Birch Society should you even consider criticizing Israel or Jewish people. That should tell you everything you need to know about the John Birch Society. Oh, you anti-Semitic.
Being the Declaration of Independence. By the way, that'd be a good idea. But there's a whole nother group of people who have very different plans for our country's very special birthday. I didn't know a lot of this. In fact, a lot of it is completely new to me. But when I saw the Rockefellers were involved, when I saw some of these very shady organizations pushing this, I knew it wasn't about restoring our liberty and our independence. So joining us to discuss all of this and much more is a regular guest on this program. Her name is Lisa Logan. And like I said, she's been on the program quite a few times before. She's involved in a lot of really, really useful things. She is the host of the YouTube channel Parents of Patriots. She's the author of the marvelous Substack Education Manifesto. She's a wife, she's a mother, she's a patriot, and she is an excellent researcher. She's been published all over the place with incredibly important information that you're not going to find in other places. And now she has been digging into this America 250 refounding agenda and understands it like very few others. Lisa, welcome to Conversations That Matter. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me back. It's a pleasure.
It's great to have you. So, Lisa, I saw a post by your friend, Data Republican, about the fourth founding, how our unelecteds plan to rewrite the Constitution. Part one, and I guess other parts are coming. And this was really alarming to me. So I started reading it, and I knew you had been involved. And so just let's start off with the basics. What is this agenda, this fourth founding, this refounding of our country, this effort to fundamentally transform our nation for our country's birthday?
Right. Well, let's talk about what the other three foundings they think are. And that's the original one, which is 1776. They believe the second founding was the Civil War. The third founding was the Civil Rights Movement, and this would be the fourth founding, where they completely change America's system of governance, our whole electoral system, our whole economy, everything, to basically move itself towards a democratic socialist agenda. And, my friend, Data Republican, and another researcher, and I, SK-33, shout out to her. We've been working together with her to expose the very real color revolution happening on America's soil right now. I think a lot of people see just the very outward expression of that, these No Kings rallies and things like that, where they're trying to camp outside the Capitol and basically just to stop Trump's agenda. But what a lot of people don't understand is that there's a second and third goal, and really their end goal is to completely change America. The way we do our elections, our Constitution. They've put out stuff about constitutional amendments, how we do our voting, like ranked choice voting instead of having an elected representative, et cetera, et cetera. So this is really important for people to understand, because as July 4th and our America's birthday approaches for our semi-quincentennial, these people have very real ugly plans on how they want to change America.
Yeah, they do. And even just scratching the surface, it becomes very obvious to anybody who's been paying attention. I like that you use the term color revolution, because I think that's what's happening here. Mm-hmm. We've got the whole democracy promotion industry and the intelligence agencies that have been doing this in North Africa. You're doing this in Eastern Europe, and Americans are just clueless, don't really care. It's over there. Now it's coming here. And a lot of the same people are involved. So we got to get to that. But let's start with their 31 recommendations. You mentioned some changes in our electoral system that I think would be very dangerous, but give us some of the highlights of these recommendations that they think we need as part of this new refounding, this fourth founding of our country.
Yeah, and these recommendations came out of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. There was a guy named Stephen Heinz who co-chaired a commission there, and they put out a document called the Our Common Purpose document. It had 31 recommendations. Things like I said, the constitutional amendments, and I really believe, especially as we're approaching this whole decision by the Supreme Court to decide what we're going to do on birthright citizenship, they would really like for people who are illegal immigrants to this country to become just regular old citizens. They have a plan to add 50 seats to the House, which would very much water down, there's a reason why we assign the Electoral College to each of these states. So even people in rural America, in the middle of Oklahoma, say, their voices will be heard in regards to what they would like to see happen in our government. And so they'd like to add 50 seats so that's now watered down. They also have an agenda to have term limits to Supreme Court judges. So, for instance, 18 years, and then they would have to move on. So various things like that, ranked choice voting across the board. Really, and what it does is it increases the ability for elections to be mistrusted and possibly taken by nefarious interests. And it does not maintain our representative constitutional republic that our founders had in mind.
Yeah, and folks understand that what we're talking about here are changes to the structure of our government, a structure that has served us pretty well for 250 years. Maybe not perfectly, we could debate that, but pretty well. And we're talking about some big changes here. I find it really interesting, Lisa, that they're calling it our common future. Just a few years ago, I broke the story about how the UN was pushing this series of policy proposals, major policy proposals, to totally restructure and radically empower the UN. And they were all called our common agenda. You had part one, part two, and basically I can summarize it all for you. The UN needs a lot more power to do whatever it wants under any pretext. And it sounds like that's what we're dealing with here as well. My guess is the language came from maybe a common source, maybe even a PR company, marketing company, who knows. But Lisa, you guys have dug into the different organizations behind this. I mentioned the Rockefellers who are involved. We've also got Soros fingerprints in various places. But give us some of the major foundations, individuals, organizations that are pushing this thing.
Do you see how it's like plot devices with them? Soros invokes a reaction. Aren't these kind of cheap ploys so that you don't actually get to the root? Oh, Soros. Oh, Rockefeller. What are those people? What cult, what tribe, what supremacy religion cult are they in? This is more of an exercise or an example for analysis, a treatment, I guess, to show how mainstream controlled opposition likes to frame things without actually, and it's misdirection, and it's misleading, and it's dead end shit. Oh yeah, Soros stuff, like that BLM thing. What does that actually mean, though? Jews. What does that actually mean, though? The people who run your country, not some guy from freaking China who's Hungarian. Yeah, most of the time, most of the shit he has is in China. It's a bunch of bullshit. Because they're not telling you what the overarching thing is. There's pointing one guy who's like, what, 90? There's much bigger, badder players in this game, and they're right here. It's hilarious to listen to this shit sometimes. And I'm sure this fucking tard here with her house dress on is gonna definitely inspire us with her deep intellect and deep thoughts.
Well, I just mentioned Stephen Heintz. Heintz, Heintz. He is the president of the Rockefeller Brothers Fund, and has been for a very long time. You have MacArthur Foundation, Hewlett. You have the Packard Foundation. You have multiple entities, including the National Endowment for Democracy and the
Jews. All those things, Jews.
Carnegie Endowment for Peace. And so you have all of these organizations basically working together. And that was part of, when Dad Republican and myself and SK and I joined forces, I had already been looking into, I found this entire map of this whole ecosystem. So there's people in interfaith, you have people who are doing these.
Oh, yeah. Besides rambling so that you fall asleep and don't pay attention to her anymore, and then she'll throw a few buzzwords in there that everybody has already been trained to salivate for, and it'll wake you up for half a second and be like, oh yeah, those words. Yeah. They didn't do anything special. They didn't do it. They didn't do anything. They were handed something and said, present this way. Because all this is bullshit. And nobody's saying what needs to be said here. Oh, I went through this and I went through that. And I found all these connections. You're a fucking, you acting like you're doing something profound and unique. Because you have to in order to get money from people and take their attention away from reality. So that they all fucking die at the hands of the Jews who are actually doing this shit. See that? I don't give a shit if she's doing it on purpose or not. Is it either by intellectual inferiority, like stupidity, or deliberate malice? These people are feeding you a line of bullshit that doesn't help you. Having the information that they provide, you can't do anything with. It has no front, it has no back, it has no dimensions whatsoever. You don't understand the entity or the hydra that it is with these types of fucking talks. They don't say, "Oh, and this is what I'm saying. This is why I wanted you to see this and understand how the John Bitch Society and the New American treat topics without saying the Jew word, without saying the cult of Saturn word, without, they would call you a conspiracy theorist and an anti-Semite themselves. They would do that. They have done that. And this is why I stopped going, well, one of the other reasons why I stopped hanging with G. Edward Griffin and going to freaking Red Pill events. Yeah, I was there when Ed was sick. And like, oh, he was poisoned with spray. They sprayed aerosol at one of the events and everybody got sick. One person died. I'm like, that's probably true. But old people who are in their 80s also get sick often, especially when they don't know anything about 90 essential nutrients. And the closest thing they have to a naturopath is some asshole who sells them apricot seeds. So, yeah, it wasn't in the best of care. Anyhow, he got really frail. And I was pushing him around in his wheelchair. But I pissed off the wrong Carrie Madej, and she decided that she was going to be a cunt. Not that I wanted to go back anyway, but it was just a very odd turn of events. Like, it doesn't matter what you do or who you are in person when they actually meet you. Some of these people, what matters is getting the call, getting the word down from above or sideways or up that says, don't let this guy play any reindeer games anymore because he made me mad. Boo-hoo-hoo. Yeah. Yeah, that's how petty and that's how fucking stupid it is. But it was the wrong place for me anyway because I was so disgusted with everything that I was seeing. I'm like, these people are fucking grifters and shills, and I didn't see this, but now it's too blatantly obvious, and they all suck. Every one of them. Every one of them suck.
Red-blue discussions like Braver Angels, who's very misunderstood as being it's just an organization that gets people together. Because really the original form of our common purpose was getting people together for generative dialogue.
Blah, blah, blah,
and
blah.
really what this is a manipulative form
Non-profit
of
organization, you say?
Technique.
A Jew thing?
Agitator techniques to get people to agree. And it's not like my opinion can be over here and yours can be over there. There has to be a synthesis of ideas.
The fuck does this have to do with 250? Huh? The fuck does... I don't care. This is why you're not supposed to talk. Men are supposed to talk. You're supposed to shut up. I'm sorry, but this is truth. Unless you have something important to say. If you're just going to babble and babble like you do with your girlfriends, then stop it, please. I want to bang my head against that fucking brick wall behind you. That's not even real. Fucking hey, dude. Allow me to help you with that. Fuck off. CDC awards Pfizer. Hey kids. Round two. Okay. Kirilenko. That sounds very Russian Jew / potential Bolshevik here. And again, new American, so they will tell you some things and then they'll steer it away from the Jews, right? Because the CDC, Center for Disease Control, why do they have $1.24 billion to give to Pfizer? Why do they have that? Where did they get that from? You. Why are they doling out your hard-earned money to fucking kill people with it? Under the guise of healthcare. A painful, agonizing death. CDC awards Pfizer $1.24 billion for updated COVID vaccines. And this was on yesterday. And told to by a Bolshevik. The Trump administration just gave, Trump administration by way of Pfizer? By way of CDC? This contradicts this. This is in Georgia. This cocksucker is in Washington. The Trump administration just gave Pfizer another major payday. Of course they did. For many in the Maha bullshit fraud, it is another blow. They hope President Donald Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr., that's exactly what they wanted you to think, Jr.'s Health and Human Services Department would confront the devastating carnage of COVID vaccine policy. Policy or murder? See, again, they're softening the blow. They're not acknowledging the fact that it causes... Cancer is just a description. It causes you to die because it's a poison that's attacking your body and doing horrible things to it and getting into your cells and forcing your cells by hijack to continue to manufacture more of it. Instead, the federal government has just awarded Pfizer to the new COVID vaccine contracts. Why? Because they're pulling the bullshit again. The contracts cover dude, right here. This is enough to overthrow them and fucking toss them into the ocean with rocks tied to their feet. The contracts cover pediatric and adult doses. Death for the whole family, everybody. From the time you get out of the womb, pediatrics should be eliminated from the planet. Pediatricians should be eliminated from the planet. The idea of pediatrics only came about so that they could have micromanagement level care given to making sure that all the deadly fucking shots that the cult wants you to have, that your children are getting it. That's their job. They might not even know that that's their job, but that's what their job becomes. The contracts cover pediatric and adult doses. And by the way, you would have to imagine, given the amount of payouts that they give to all these doctors for having such a certain level, it's not even for the sale, it's for the compliance. At what point do people get that it's not really profit? Oh, they're making billions of dollars. Really? When you factor in all the kickbacks and all the other bullshit and all the cheap in comparison to the taken, so they say, of these VAERS claims and stuff like that, which actually come from taxes, not from them, which is another thing. This is how evil and the lack of this no liability for injury. First of all, no liability for injury is a completely evil thing. Should not have ever existed. Now, no liability without some sort of qualifications is outright insane. Certain qualifications for having that type of anonymity. I'm sorry, that the immunity to that should have to be met, and there was none. And now they're they're going to do it all over again. And the amount of carnage that they've caused in every single shot and every single vaccine, and how they've lied about it. Just the fact that they shrug the responsibility of liability when there is an event back onto the taxpayers. So essentially, the parents destroyed forever, child dead. They throw some of the shit that they print off without consideration, simply just to suppress you with having more than you. That's something, isn't it? Here's some of that paper. And by the way, it came from you anyway. Can we tear down the system yet? Please? I told you got me for 3 years. Max. That's all it's gonna take. And then I'll step down. But I want a nice RV, and as far as my parting gift. You got it? All right. The awards come as the Food and Drug Administration continues to approve updated boosters. Approve updated boosters. Why are they still doing this? They have been murdering people. Well, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has shifted a vague, individual-based decision-making standard for many Americans without anything close to full informed consent. Never mind informed consent. These things are meant to murder you. Here, let me consent. Let me disclose to you that that's what it's for, and then you can consent. It's still murder. It's still fucking murder. And when you mandate it and push it and get that's called murder. You're trying to influence. You're trying to coerce somebody to do something harmful. That is considered murder. I don't care what the fucking no, it's not. It is. It's murder. Especially when they've had enough of your resisting, and they just hold you down and do it. A digital-based decision-making standard for many Americans without anything close to full informed consent. They also come even though public demand has collapsed for shots associated with some of the gravest harm, such as cancer, myocarditis, and premature death. Such as the exact intent of the shots in the first place is to cripple and delete. And those who don't have that happen, well, different batches for different folks. And, different biologies with different weaknesses. And all based on what types of minerals and nutrients they had in their body at the time and what they were able to fight off. And also, the main goal is to see their tech take root inside the people and see just how well that interface of whatever types of, heavy metal bullshit or whatever is in there, graphene. I don't know what. We don't know because they don't tell. When they start playing with their towers and they start playing your tune to see how you dance, that's when the real test comes. It says including these 2 COVID vaccine contracts public listings show the Trump administration has awarded the infamous corporation about $7.3 billion in federal contracts capacity since March 23rd, 2025. How about give one person, 10 people randomly. You don't have a lot. Give them give them $1 million each. That's only $10 million at the end of the day. This is $7.3 billion. The CDC awarded the contracts through its Office of Acquisition Services. The hefty size of these awards raises the most basic procurement question. Who is this product for? CDC's own numbers show a market of public show a market the public has largely abandoned. The CDC's own numbers show a market the public has largely abandoned. Doesn't matter if they make it forced. And this is the whole point here. They won't say that. As of May 2026, only 9.7% of children have been reported as being up to date with their COVID vaccine. Why the fuck would you take it? Only 3% of the children had a parent who said they definitely planned to get the child vaccinated. The adult numbers are not much better. Even older Americans, the group federal officials say receives the greatest benefit from the shots are not rushing to take them. Well, that means they're gonna rev up the old energy weapons, things that emit, right? That's all I mean by that. Get people nice and respiratory ill again, and then tell them it's a new wave of COVID, and then they're gonna run to the shots and look, they're already updated. Lucky day. Not that even matters, because every shot is mRNA, which again is a misdirection word term anyway. Poison. End of story. More effective poison than last time? Sure. The fact that they're just saying that they're making all of them mRNA when they're horrific and they'll cause cancer and death and heart problems is simply to say you're not going to escape it no matter what. There's going to be in everything. Only 22% of the Medicare free for service beneficiaries, Medicare fee for service benefit, 65 and older had been vaccinated. The same pattern holds among pregnant women, another group the federal officials routinely classify as at risk. Right. Pregnant women were preyed upon, told all kinds of lies, and their children basically were aborted by shot prematurely. Their bodies rejected their babies. Gee, I wonder if that was on purpose. Only 11.1, which is vav. Only 11.1% of the pregnant women had gotten the booster. Put differently, nearly 9 in 10 expectant mothers, thankfully, have declined. The agency's commercial claims data show. What else we got? Hold on. The pediatric question. Oh, Camerani is horrible. That's the one that they were giving the military, which was super, super terrible. Camerani? We talked about that. We talked about that with Jane Ruby. That's how long back it was. I didn't talk to Jane Ruby about it, but she's the one who started talking about it. And I'm sure most of the details were hyped in the wrong places and hushed in the right places. You know? It says CDC's Archive 2024-25 vaccine price list shows separate Pfizer contract vehicles for adult and pediatric COVID vaccines, with adult Comirnaty listed at $69.44 per dose and pediatric Pfizer formulas priced between $48.88 and $99.71 per dose. For the 26-27 awards, do not break from that model. They extended it. Brian Hooker says the pediatric award is the most explosive part. Brian the Hooker, Chief Scientific Officer at Children's Health Defense, which is a bullshit organization with RFK Jr., poster childing it sometimes, a nonprofit founded by Kennedy, put the objection bluntly. Oh, he's the good guy. CHD in their eyes is actually legitimate. No, they're not. They're bullshit. They're the pretend to do something, do nothings. He called it $1.2 billion for what is essentially a cold in minor children. That is not the case. It's authorized biological warfare against the American people. They won't say that, but that's the facts. And this is why I'm not on the top of the fucking heap with my bills paid, because I say this shit that needs to be said. At the same time, the risks are enormous. Federal regulators have long known that mRNA COVID vaccines carry an elevated risk of myocarditis and pericarditis, especially in young males. Right, young males. You know what males do? They reproduce. The FDA added they don't have the babies, they make the babies. You know what I mean? Send them off to war, send them off to die. Give them bad hearts. Fuck up their genetics. If that's even a thing. The FDA added myocarditis and pericarditis warnings to Pfizer and Moderna vaccine fact sheets in June 2021. That's nice of them. In 2025, the agency required another labeling update, saying the observed risk was highest in males ages 12 through 24. So everybody that's healthy, remember they were saying this? The healthier the person, the more fucking deadly it was. Notably, one recent major study found myocarditis and pericarditis only among vaccinated children, with 0 cases recorded among the. This all has to do with you thinking that it's all the same shit that they're giving you, and it isn't. It's targeted areas and targeted people specifically. I don't want that one to live. I don't want this one to live. This one's a burden on the bottom line. This one's always sick. Get rid of him. This one's a fucking troublemaker. This one shoots his mouth off. This one is such a cuck for all the shit we do. We fucking hit him anyway. Kill him. All that. All through your insurance. Oh, you need government assistance for your insurance? Well, your life has a time limit on it. Nor is Washington's approach universal. For example, early on into the rollout, several Nordic countries moved away from broad COVID vaccination for healthy children and young people. Florida broke with the policy as well in 2022. Oh, shut up. Anything that comes out of Florida is not being honest. You have Ron the Satan Santis over there. He may as well be a representative for the Jewish banking cult of child killers himself. It became the first state to recommend against COVID mRNA vaccination for healthy children. In 2024, the state went further and advised against mRNA COVID vaccines for all populations. Meanwhile, going double down on the rest of the childhood vaccines and saying, stay away from that one, go get those ones. Do you see the problem with that? Do you see how that's a parlor trick? Do you see how that's deceptive? And do you see how that gets more children killed? Because their parents are going to say, that means these must be effective because they told us which ones are bad. All impressions, all interpretations, all what people believe based on no research, face value, shallow, superficial thinking. And that's how most people go about their lives. They're like balls in a pinball machine. That's it. They let everything else move them around. Bouncing off the wall is them saying, oh, well, that's the thing. This magazine has extensively documented the links between mRNA shots and a range of serious, often irreversible side effects. See what I'm doing here? Those include neurological and immunological damage, menstrual and other reproductive abnormalities, cancer, and premature death. Premature death. What happened? Premature death. It's like premature is like how premature? Like, was he 5? Federal health agencies dispute broad casual claims in those categories, but he was an old 5. He was a very mature 5. I mean, people who knew him could tell he was at the end of his rope for a while before he even had that shot. He was just tired of it all. Federal health agencies dispute broad casual claims in those categories, but to say that but to this day, they have not produced the kind of transparent public accounting that would settle the issue for families who were harmed. You bastard. Obviously, the new Pfizer contracts do not answer those questions. They simply move past them. The ASIP problem. Well, let's talk about the ASIP problem in a minute. This cracker's got some shiz to diz. I'll get into these things too. Revolting villager, I see. Well, I want you to learn that your kids don't belong to you until you claim them. Revolting villager. That's her name. I'm not making fun of them. You have to affirm and announce and formalize your status as a natural living being, and that your children, until the age of 18, are essentially and lawfully your property. And that is a fact, Jack. And I'll get into this in a second, but if anybody out there is trying to figure out what to do with themselves, get your 90 essential nutrients while I go do this other thing here. TNA is not tits and ass, damn it. Bastards. We're going to get into some OnlyFans statistics here in a little bit. That's only 4 minutes. That's not going to work for me. I got to do some things. That's too long. Come on, Lewis. Give me something else. You can be the whole bitch. This surely is bullshit. Let's say Denver removed Flock. Verizon can't get away with this. There's been some good ones lately with Lewis. Trump talk is cheap. Fix the DMCA. This is the tractor issue again, which was horrendous. John Deere hijacked copyright law to keep you from tinkering with your tractor, which is kind of the whole fucking point of being a farmer, is to handle things on your own. That's why you're a farmer in the first place. Fucking dependent on other people. What the fuck? The UK is gaslighting on age verification. Anthropic is worse than my school teach. Yeah, okay. Let's go with this one. I'll be back.
Hey everybody, how's it
going? The episode of How You Getting Fucked. I'm your host, Louis Rossman.
Hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome to today's episode of How You're Getting Fucked. I'm your host, Louis Rossman, and today I'm going to be talking about something that really bothers me with companies like Anthropic. This is going to be more of a rant than it is to be a specific thing on consumer rights. It's just a rant because I'm just sick and tired of companies that do business in this way, and I wanted to talk about why it bothers me and why I don't think it is in their benefit long term. Not that I think any of these companies are thinking long term. So I use Claude Code for a number of different things. Some of the stuff is actually useful. As I've said in some previous videos, there were files that we had to do data recovery on that were corrupted, and literally, I have $20,000 of hardware in one box at the store. I have many expensive pieces of software at my store. Not a single one of these pieces of software even got close to being able to recover a file that had some sort of insanely fucked up metadata. And I was able to make this really crazy loop with Claude Code that used Gemini Deep Research on the back end every time I got stuck automatically to actually figure out what was wrong with this file and get somebody back a voice memo of a dead person, which is great. I've been able to use this to actually help me in my business do real things usefully, not just use it for fucking flock cameras, spying on people, making AI music and AI videos and bullshit. Stuff where I can actually help people. And it's been useful to me. And the reason that I use Claude Code for this instead of others is I've tried OpenAI Codex. In 2 months, it couldn't recreate what Claude Code was able to make in 4 hours. The open source AIs, I use Mistral for classifying my email, I'll be honest. Like something like that, yeah, But for a lot of the things I'm doing right now, it just doesn't work. And AI is one of those things. It's not like a processor where a Celeron will do the same things that a Core i7 can do. It's just a lot slower. This is one of those things where the open source models will often just give me the wrong answer. And it's not like a slower processor where it's more annoying, but I can use it. It's one of those things where the right answer is worth everything to me and the wrong answer is worth literally nothing to me. So while I can use an open source model for shit where I want privacy, like I want you to go through all of my emails and add tags to them and then classify them into folders to make it easier for me. I don't want some other company reading through all my shit for that. I'll take a little bit of lack of accuracy. When I'm trying to build things like this, it really is useful to have something that's always accurate and always works. The problem is that Anthropic knows that their tool is pretty damn good at certain things, and as a result of it, they start acting like drug dealers. And they're doing something that I talked about with the Trump administration a year and a half ago at tariffs, where when you make the business environment so uncertain, people just say they give up and they stop using your shit. And I wonder if that is ever going to get to a point where that happens when it comes to Anthropic. So what am I talking about here? With Anthropic, a few months ago, I talked about how if you had a file called hermes.md inside of your session, they were going to bill you more money. And what was annoying is they weren't being honest. They didn't say, hey, by the way, we've changed our rules. Just so you know, if you have a hermes.md file inside of your session, we are now going to bill you more money. So to give you a little bit of background on how billing works with a lot of these AI infrastructure systems, I'm going to compare it to pizza. Imagine that a pizza pie is $18. Now imagine for that same pizza pie where you get 12 slices of pizza for $18, imagine if each slice of pizza individually were $5. If you wanted to buy the slice, a pie of pizza would cost you $60. Whereas if you wanted to buy the entire pie, same amount of pizza, $18. Think of it like a quantity discount. It's always cheaper to buy a pie of pizza than it is to buy the individual slices over and over again. And the same thing is true when it comes to a lot of these AI plans. If you look on Anthropic's website, you'll see that they have plans that are like $100 a month or $200 a month or $25 a month, around there, give or take a little bit, depending on what you're going to use. So I bought one of the plans with the idea that I'm going to use this, I'm going to see what I can use it for, and I'm going to use it to do things like file recovery and other projects of mine as I see fit. And it does a great job of it. API billing is kind of like buying individual slices of pizza. It's much more expensive. You pay as you go instead of paying up front, but you do pay out the ass for it. Now, one of the things that they did recently is if you had a hermes.md file in your session, they started billing you on something called extra usage. So let's say I go over my usage limit of $200 of usage. I have the option to now pay a much higher rate per query than I would be paying to be able to pay for the individual slices of pizza, but I can keep going with my session without having to stop and wait for later for my limit to reset. The problem with this is that they were not fucking telling people that they were doing this. They didn't say that we changed the rules. We're going to use your extra usage billing every time you do this. They just took people's money. And they came out and said, mea culpa, I'm sorry, after there was a big backlash over it, after people had asked for refunds and got denied. And now they're trying to do that in a different way. And they have a very shitty way of explaining it to people. So there are two different ways to use Claude Code. I'm just going to go through this as if you're somebody who doesn't really use these systems, because I imagine the average person in my audience, while being very technically savvy, wants nothing to do with these systems and won't use them on principle, which is understandable. So you have two different ways that you could use Claude Code. One of the ways you can use Claude Code is inside of the Claude Code program. So I can go, what is 2 plus 2? This is inside of a program called Claude Code in my terminal. And then it says equals 4. The next way I could use it is in my actual terminal without a program. So this is just a Linux terminal. I can go Claude-P, what is 2 plus 2? Now I'm not running the program, I'm inside of my terminal, but I'm invoking it from my terminal. Being able to use Claude-P inside of a terminal means that I can have a script that's already doing something else that then asks Claude a question, gets an answer, and then uses that for the next part of the script, which allows me a much greater degree of flexibility in what I can do than if I'm just working inside of the Claude program. Now, I may build my system differently if I know that a few months from now, you are going to do a rug pull and reduce my usage by 80 to 90% when I do things the second way. Now, here's what they did recently. They put out a Twitter message that makes it sound like what they're doing is they're offering you a credit. As a non-programmer, when I read this Twitter message, I thought, oh, look, they're giving me a credit. I don't need no credit. I barely use my full plan as is. I'm good, but thanks for offering me the credit. That's not what that actually means. What that meant is, by the way, when you use Claude-P, that's no longer going to take from your normal limit. We're going to be billing that at a new programmatic rate, which is similar to what you would be paying if you use the API plan. So now your Claude Max plan, which used to be about $200 a month worth of use, is actually going to give you maybe like $3 or $20 a month worth of use. But we're going to give you this little credit to make up for the fact that we've taken 90% of everything away from you. That is what that Twitter message actually meant. Now, I still had not realized that Anthropic was such a gaslighting bullshit company at that point, so I didn't realize that every single one of my fucking scripts that I've already made that uses Claude-P for what it works, all the shit I've been working on for the past 6 fucking months would have to be redone because I would be losing 85 to 90% of my productive capacity as a result of this change. So I spend the entire weekend after my friend tells me about this, redoing the entire fucking infrastructure for my project so that I could get it, so that it'll still work and still be able to do things without paying 10 or 30 times as much money as I was before. And then I get this email the day of. LOL JK, we're going to put that off. Sorry about that. Yeah, never mind. And I'm sitting there steaming like, you motherfuckers. Now, the reason that I use Claude Code instead of the other ones, as I've said earlier in other videos, when I use an open source model, it will give me an answer. Not the right answer. It's kind of like searching a forum. When I was using Claude Code, it makes mistakes. It makes mistakes a lot. But it very often gives me the exact fucking answer and builds something really cool, which is why it's very useful. I've tried OpenAI Codex, gold prompts, all different types of shit, different prompt engineering stuff. 2 months. It was not able to create a script that Claude Code was able to make in a fucking day. Claude Code is pretty ahead. However, is it worth it to invest in a system when the person that you're dealing with acts like this? Have you ever had a relationship partner in the past where you just never know when you wake up that day whether they love you or they hate you? Where one day they're literally breaking into your house using a key that you didn't even know that you showed them the location of to get into your house, to clean everything up just to show you how much they love you, only for the next day for them to say, I resent and hate the fact that you think I should have to clean for you when you didn't even ask them to, and they literally broke into your house to do it. Like, have you ever gone out with somebody where you just never know? It's always hot and cold and you're just scared. There's no consistency whatsoever. That is what Anthropic and these companies seem to be like as business partners. And that was one of the problems that I had when I was talking about the tariff situation earlier in the year. Regardless of what you think of Trump's tariffs and how they worked out, one of the things that I was saying is that when I see in the news, okay, 50% tariff. Tomorrow, okay, there's a tweet, 100% tariff. Tomorrow, never mind, it's down to 40%. What I think at that point is I am scared shitless of buying a product that used to be $110, and then tomorrow that product costing me $210 or $230 when I sell this product to my customers at $200. I can't deal with that. I can't deal with going from having a profit margin of 50 to 70% to having a profit margin of negative 30% based on a tweet. That is very risky to me. So even if there is a great opportunity to make money there, what business people do is they start to walk away. As Eli the computer guy has said in many videos, and I agree with him, businesses don't need a great regulatory environment, they need a consistent one. They don't need the lowest taxes, they need consistent ones. One of the reasons that I left New York City was not because the taxes were high. This is a common misconception. Moving from one place to another for 8 or 10% in taxes is ridiculous. I mean, I have a built-in customer base. There's 8.5 million people in New York. There's 800,000 here. I would never move for that. It's when you audit me, and within the 2 or 3 years of the audit, you can't tell me what my tax rate is supposed to be, and you can't tell me what the rules actually are. Because when I don't know what the rules are, and you can't tell me what the rules are, that's when you hit me with that, by the way, Lewis, you owe over $1 million in back taxes when your company has less than $200,000 in the bank. I can't work with that. Business people can't work with that. I can't be in a relationship with somebody when today you are in love with me and literally breaking into my house using a spare key that I didn't even think you knew existed to clean everything. And then the next day saying you resent and dislike me and are really angry at me at the fact that I have these expectations of you that I didn't even know that you knew what the key to my house was. The issue here is a simple one. I think that Anthropic is acting like the super senior, and many of these AI companies, in my opinion, are acting like that super senior in Susan Wagner High School that would be sitting at the last stall in the bathroom, ready to sell Newports for free to the freshmen. Here's 5 packs of Newports for free. And then once you're addicted to the Newports, well, now it's $5, now it's $10, now it's $20 a pack. Oh, what are you going to do? Get a nicotine? Oh, yeah, you're going to order a nicotine? Oh, yeah. Oh, you can't order a nicotine patch because you're a minor. What are you going to do? You're going to go to the deli and buy? Oh, you can't because you're a minor. $20, kid. And that's what they're doing here. And this is what really annoys me, is that if they had simply said up front, hey, by the way, we're making this radical fucking change, rather than hiding it behind one of these really just... Can anybody read this message and tell me that they get the idea from it that you're getting a fucking downgrade? Anthropic has done this thing consistently, and many AI companies have, where they really, really want to get you hooked on the crack, and then they want to find all these sneaky ways to stick the tip in later. And that is not something that you do if you're a company that is offering a great product to begin with. I don't have to do sneaky shit to get people to utilize me for data recovery or repair services. I don't have to use sneaky clickbait titles like, you won't believe what happens next, to get you to watch my YouTube channel. My titles are usually very boring and very descriptive. My thumbnails are either usually a few words saying what's in the
Yeah, see, Lewis and I we both have that same problem of treating our viewers with respect, so we don't have as many. Because if we treated them like children and talked to them like they were, impulse-driven goldfish, then we'd have, he has 2 million, but he'd probably have 20 million, and I'd have 100,000 followers.
video, or just a random picture of me from the video because I'm too lazy to make a thumbnail most of the time. I don't have to do tricky shit to get people to watch my content because I just let it stand on its own. And I think that this is something that's going to start backfiring on some of these AI companies, because the way that I saw that this weekend and what my thought process was even though Codex was not able to make me the tool in 2 months that Anthropic's Claude Code was able to make me in 1 day, even though it wasn't capable of it, I still thought in my head, maybe I should switch back to the other one. Not because they're morally better, to be clear, fuck Sam Altman, but because I'm not able to do business with a partner that's constantly changing shit on will. When I literally wasted my entire fucking weekend changing all these different projects I had going on, from using Claude-P to using different workflows inside of Claude Code, when I wasted all that time on that shit because I didn't anticipate that you were going to change shit like that, that really gets me thinking. I would actually be willing to use a worse product if it simply means that I don't have those types of heart attacks of, oh my God, in a few days, all of my shit is going to stop working unless I pay you 10 times more money. Because while people really like having good products, they also dislike being held hostage. And here's just another example if you want to see an example of what I'm talking about when I say that they are trying to hook people like crack dealers. So I'm going to give you an example here. I did a test here just to figure out if this was the case. We're going to do a test and figure out what they're doing with gift accounts. So on the screen is what you get with a standard Claude Code account. I'm going to show you on the terminal. This is a standard Claude Code account. You have a current session limit, and then you have also a weekly limit. So you have a limit for how much you can do in a session, and then you have a limit for what you're allowed to do in a week. Now let me show you what they have on gift accounts. Gift accounts cost just as much as normal accounts. This is the gift account. What do you notice in the gift account? You have a session limit, but there is no weekly limit. So they were purposely making the gift accounts have different limits than the normal accounts, hoping that they could get you hooked and go, wow, look at how much usage I have. And then when you sign up, you hit your limits faster, and it's like, oh shit, that's not what I thought I was getting. Huh. Did they make it obvious in their marketing materials that that's what they're doing? No. Does the super senior tell you that the only reason he's giving you the first pack for free is because he knows that nicotine is going to be highly addictive and ruin your life? No. I don't see a difference here. I checked it a few months later to see how this is working out, and I got another gift account just to test my theory because I wanted to show this to other people and see what was going on. Now, a few months later, they changed it so that gift accounts right before the IPO now have a limit that is the same as their normal one. So this is a second gift account that was done a few months later. Current week, all models. You not only have a session limit, you also have a weekly limit as well. So a few months before they were talking about an IPO, they made the gift account have a higher limit than the normal account, hoping that people would get hooked. And then when it's time to IPO and actually start showing books and show that we're making money, that's when they started slowly clawing it back. And just like with the Hermes thing, just like with the Twitter message that was written in a very cryptic way, they don't write it in a way where it is obvious that that is what they are doing. But when you take a look at every single one of these actions, not just individually, but in context with all the other actions, you'll notice that they act very similarly to the person in high school that's doing their best to get the kids hooked on cigarettes, knowing that they're going to come back later, even if they're losing a little money in the here and now. And I don't think it's a respectable business model. And I honestly think that this is a business model that's going to backfire on many of these companies, because even if you do have the best product at the time, and I'll put it out there, I've tried a bunch of these products. Anthropic, like, shit company, they got some pretty fucking good models. Even if you have a good product at the time, a lot of people who are much smarter than I am, who are much better at figuring out how to rework things and make things, scripts work and everything like that, are probably going to look at this and go, I don't feel like getting dicked around all the time. You know what? I don't want to read a really cryptic message that's difficult to decipher that tells me that I'm going to have to change my entire workflow, but it's not even being direct about it, so I'm only going to figure it out when that workflow stops working. I don't want the mere existence of a file in my project to dictate that my credit card is now going to get surprise charges on it that I wasn't even aware of. I don't want to sample a plan and then realize that when I start paying for the plan, I have a lower limit than I did before that I would only be able to figure out if I was a fucking investigative reporter. I don't even know how to have that type of analogy to my business, because I've always said that with my company, I try to make the thing that bothers me about what a lot of other companies do is that they'll take part in practices that I would never even imagine doing to my own customers. It's not even in the Overton window of something I would think about, even when my company is doing at its worst. Because my company has had, like, in the last year, I've been at a point where I had my payroll bounce and I had to do massive changes to everything and massive reworks to make things work the way they did. And even when I'm at the ultimate rock bottom, I don't even know what the analogy would be with a repair and data recovery company to what they're doing. But that whole idea of I'm going to figure out a way to like sneakily give people less shit over time and not tell them and have these weaselly ways of wording it are things that just never enter my mind when I think about the things that I need to do to make a company financially viable and work. But these people do it with a smile on their face. I'm very curious, for people who are actually building workflows and tools and things that are actually useful to their life, not making AI slop YouTube videos, not coming up with new and inventive ways to spy on your customers, but people who are actually building shit that allows me to uncorrupt a file from somebody who is crying over the fact that they lost their dead grandmother's last voice memo of something from the war. For people who are using it to build really cool shit, are you looking at things like this and saying, I don't even care how good this is. I just don't want to do business with a company that is like that horrible ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, where every day that I wake up, I know I'm in for a new adventure, a new argument, a new pile of misery, she literally broke into my house using a key that I never showed her existed to clean up everything, and then the next day started yelling and screaming at me saying, I can't believe you made me clean. Where I'm just looking and going, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. That's it for today. And as always, hope we learned something. Sorry for this video being a rambly rant. I really don't have the time to edit it, and my head is just not in the place to be able to make a well-orchestrated or organized video, but I kind of just wanted to get this point out anyway, because this business model is just something I'm really getting sick and tired of. Like, for some reason, we all look down with scorn on the high school super senior trying to get freshmen hooked on crack. But we don't, but like this is a $1 trillion IPO. See you in the next one.
I just watched something that I still can't believe.
Who's this
real.
bag?
It's just so painfully
I don't mean Charlie. I'm just curious who the stand-up guy is. He looks familiar.
pathetic. Last night on stream, there was one guy in chat for like the 2.5 hours I was playing wacky games saying, you've got to check out Ned Fulmer's stand-up. And for some reason, it didn't process what that meant up here. I thought he had made a video called stand-up where he was doing some kind of like, I don't know, artsy think piece or something reflecting on his infidelity and how cheating affected him. Because all he does now is make videos about how he cheated on his wife and the effect that it's had on him, and like almost going on this like self-pity tour about him being the victim. He even did the podcast where he talked about him cheating directly to her. Just brutal, awful garbage. So I looked it up this morning because it got me curious. No, the stand-up refers to him doing stand-up comedy. And you'll never guess what his material consists of.
Yeah, if you don't know me, don't Google me. I am Ned Fulmer. Oh, that was so uncomfortable. And yeah, I used to be famous at BuzzFeed for trying new things. Then I cheated on my wife. Turns out that was the one thing I should not have tried that was new.
I swear to God, Ned is like SpongeBob with the ripped pants. He just keeps bringing up one thing, the cheating, and he's making it his whole brand now. He completely torpedoed his whole career because of him cheating, and instead of just moving on and doing something else, he desperately clings to like internet shit and has made him being a cheater his whole thing. So now he does like a humiliation ritual, you know, terrorizing open mic nights here with this fucking trash. It is it's incomprehensible to a sane mind. So this video is about him, like...
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll do this later. I get it. It wasn't anybody I actually knew what the fuck they're talking about anyway. The ACIP problem. Well, let's get out of this thing. We already did enough of this. We already know what they're doing. Oh, wait. Here, hold on. Hold on. They're going to try to legitimize Dr. Robert Malone again, who incidentally built these shots, but then says, "Hey, these are bad," as he's making money off of the. Oh yeah, I taught Catalina Carrico everything she knows. So why aren't you being hung and drawn and quartered, Dr. Robert Malone? How is it that you're allowed to go around talking about this shit? Why is it? Doesn't he have the? What was the one with the spark? The false spark of light. What was that? It wasn't AstraZeneca. It was something that he did. You have a little probe, a little thing, a little jolt of electricity, and it pushed it into your cells, into your tissue. And that was the way the shot was administered. And it was another way of getting the COVID shot. I hold on. What do you call it? Don't act like a don't. Vaccine hesitancy claims. Do you see how fucking evil AI is? These people are fucking retarded. They won't show you what I'm actually talking about. Spark Pulse, World of Warcraft. Shut the fuck up. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. His word vaccine was added to it, you fucking cocksucking piece of shit. Falsehoods about vaccines. Spreads falsehoods. He's the fake guy, and they're saying this shit. Do you understand how it's an echo chamber? He's the fake guy. He's the guy who builds the fucking shit that kills people. Or has people do it. Hold on. I don't want to hear what you say. Oh, the only things that aren't in this one are spark and life. You fucking cocksucker. The scourge of vaccine falsification by .gov. It's whatever his fucking gay company was. No. Stop with the fucking semantics, you fucking. Okay. We're going to have to do this because this is the only way we can do it. Fucking motherfucker. I don't care. Are they going to let me? Not here, huh? They don't let you do that Oh, you fucking piece of shit. Is he an Odyssey? It'd be a lot easier if he fucking was. I am not going to sift through fucking 4 years of fucking videos. You have to, honestly, if you as a platform don't have a subsection where you can search within the channel for topics, your platform is basically telling everybody that you're an asshole. And if that's how FTJ is set up, I don't know if it is or not, because I don't search for shit. They're not, he's not in here. He's not on this. Let's try this. This was, every fucking person was talking about this. Now they're acting like it doesn't exist. Inovio, thank you. Gee, now that I have the name, you fucking pieces of shit. Let's find out. Wait. Oh, Inovio Pharmaceuticals. Okay. And tell me, just out of curiosity, you pieces of worthless shit. Nothing found for that. Okay, let's keep looking. Maybe we'll find it again. Inovio's BLA for but it did treatment for adults. Blah blah blah. Inovio was the one where you could through a pulse through the skin. They called it the false spark of life. It was Inovio, and it was Robert Malone. God fucking damn it! I don't want to hear the fucking bullshit. I didn't conflate those in my head. I didn't. I didn't conflate those in my head. It's just not, it's not letting you know this shit that was fucking factual fucking back when it was happening. Anyhow, they have a little thing that looks like a electric toothbrush that they touch you with. And it sends a pulse, sends an impulse through your body, through your arm, and that shoots the freaking vaccine into your cells with the mRNA and all that shit that starts taking over your body and fucking you pretty hard. So Inovio really bad. And yes, it was associated with and affiliated with Robert Malone at one time. And the fact that they're saying it isn't is fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit. They're distancing themselves from it, maybe, but that's irrelevant from whether or not it was his doing, which it was. See, that's Richie. Let's see. Let's have a look. Oh, this person has the audacity to steal someone else's video and then put their bullshit on top of it. Shane St. Pierre.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It is the 30th. It's August. It's 2021. Richie from Boston TV. Secure server got hacked or something, and they were down this morning. So BitChute saw the videos before RFBT.
I don't care.
And do you remember how I keep bringing this up over and over and over again? This little story from June 2020. The medication is injected under the skin and then activated with a device that resembles a toothbrush, which delivers an electrical impulse for a fraction of a second, allowing the DNA to penetrate the body cells and carry out its mission.
And Inovio, which is financed by the U.S. Defense Department, you mean Department of War, and the NGO CEPI, also said it has been included in U.S. President Donald Trump's plan to produce hundreds of millions of doses of vaccine by January as part of the Operation Warp Speed. Let's not gloss over that.
How many times have you heard me say that? Well, Richie, Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson, Inovio doesn't even have a vaccine. You sure? Because, read this. This is in Biospace, August 26, 2021.
Everybody reads Biospace, don't you? What are you, heathen?
Inovio receives authorization to conduct phase 3 efficacy trials of its COVID-19 DNA vaccine candidate INO 4800, the exact same one I've been telling you about for months. Now let's read some weird things about this because there's some strange wording in this. Biotechnology, hold on. Okay, so I'm going to leave links to this. You can read all this yourself. But this is what I want you to see. Right here. INO-4800 is Inovio's DNA vaccine candidate against SARS-CoV-2.
Which doesn't exist, so it's a bunch of fucking lies and an excuse to... Well, you could say test, but it's poison. Kill. An excuse to kill you.
Coronavirus that...
Just like the pharmakia freaking sorcerers who were practicing pharmakia 5,000 years ago when our ancestors encountered them in Karshemish, Turkey. Remember that? Remember that story? Called the Edda? Yeah, they haven't stopped. And if people are dumb enough to keep letting them stick the serpent fucking fang into their arm, they're gonna keep poisoning you. Why poison your food, water, and everything? They can just poison you. What's the point? It's closer, quicker, easier, done. No guesswork. No wondering whether or not you actually drink the water. You know?
Causes COVID-19. Composed of a precisely designed DNA plasmid, INO 4800 is injected intradermally followed by electroportation using a proprietary smart device delivering the DNA plasmid directly into the cells in the body and is intended to produce a well-tolerated immune system. Hey, you know what's weird? I've been talking about that since the day I read that because that was there for a reason and it's back. And
back
this is
again.
Exactly what you do not. They're going to inject DNA into you, and then they're going to do the same exact thing. The finger of God, the spark of life.
That's my
Researchers
finger,
recently discovered an amazing phenomenon in the womb. There is a literal spark at the moment of conception, leaving researchers dumbfounded. Teresa Woodruff, one of the study's senior authors, described the
It's a bitch. It wants you dead.
as, quote,
And a Jew.
breathtaking. The spark of life indicates the Catholic Church was correct when it stated throughout the centuries that life begins at the moment of conception, with some believing the spark is the moment a soul enters the newly fertilized egg. Researchers believe the discovery can help them during in vitro fertilization, which currently requires the
They call it the zinc spark. Because of course they have to marginalize it with their stupid understandings of the material world, which of course is to demystify and take any spirituality or essence of truth out of things. They make it out like it's the chemicals that cause a reaction, rather than it's the chemicals that deliver the message, and because the actual causative or driving force behind it is something like a vital force and a connection between yourself and something higher than you that is informing it to do a certain thing. The chemical is simply the way it's expressed in the material world, how it's carrying said message, rather than it's just the chemical. Just like calling the germs the problem when it's an illness, rather than the cleanup crew. It's always defying God's methods or nature's methods of expression in an unnatural, maybe even material world.
fertilization of several eggs and the use of only one, while the others are destroyed, effectively killing whatever chance those lives may have had. Now, with the spark of life, scientists will have a better idea of which eggs are properly fertilized. The discovery also indicates that one day scientists can fertilize a single egg rather than several.
So guess what happens when they give you that DNA, okay? Because sperm meeting the egg is the body cells. I gotta be careful. Look how dirty I am.
Hurry up,
The body
Tig.
cells, and then the DNA is the sperm. And as soon as they touch, the spark of life. That's exactly what I told you they're doing. They're recreating God creating a body and a soul, except they're doing it for Satan, and it's back. And you will have no idea.
See, Richie went there with it. Which, whatever. I mean, yeah, elements, but could just be the same thing as like paddles, clear, boom, boom, boom. Or the same thing as it's alive. It's alive. I tell you, alive. Either case, Jews are involved. Okay, doing something evil.
Will have no idea if you got it or not. And the proprietary smart device could be any bazillion things that we're surrounded with at all times, or just 5G. And let's not forget that Inovio is financed by the U.S. Defense Department and the NGO CP. Also, it is said to include Trump's plan to produce hundreds of millions of blah, blah, blah. Yeah, right. That was Operation Warp Speed. This is no joke whatsoever at all. This right here is exactly why there will be an event in September. I mean, are you kidding me? Look at the way they got the presidents coming back. They're just letting you know because they have... Everyone reads Biospace, right? Well, my subscribers do, and that's why my subscribers are awesome, except for the crybabies that I wouldn't like if I met in real life anyways, but whatever. I never started this channel to be like
Blah,
this.
blah, blah. Jesus Christ. Get off the... Stop.
Where is it? Look at that. Want to cure COVID? Turn off the television. This has nothing to do with me, but I told the guy I'd tell people about it if he made one of these shirts.
If you want a $40 shirt... Yeah, okay. If you want a $40 shirt, buy $25 worth of hot sauce on my website instead. You'll thank you. You can't eat your shirt. You know what I mean?
Bricks and mini.
Unless you're a goat. You a goat? All right. No, we're not watching this. It just landed on it. Just give me a second here. So, okay, I'll look at these words and then we'll go on from there. Let's see. First, I want to see how long we've been on. Not that long. Okay. She's not. I just put that on there because the whole act of webcamming yourself for money is very oy vey. So that's why I put that on her neck. No, none of them look like this. None of them. Not a single. No. Okay, moving on. Oh well. Maybe a dumb statement, but did you check the fluid level in the auto transmission? There's a procedure in the owner's manual. AC filling 134. No, it's not. It's not that. It's not, if there was a leak, then there's a bigger problem. You don't just refill it. I wouldn't do that. It's not that it needs a charge. It blows ice cold, but when you press the gas, it shuts it off. And it only blows out the bottom, the feet. There's a whole thing. I've been doing the research on it, so it's not because of. And I would never recharge that way anyway. If that was the case, it means there's a bigger problem with the entire system. You don't just keep on filling it back up with the stuff. It's a self-contained unit. It should never need more. If it ends up needing more, there's a bigger problem. And it's just going to be something they're just going to continue to piss money on. $40, $50 cans. So it's a Band-Aid, really, if you're just doing that. Edward Snowman says it's almost time to be a felinated watermelonated Kang shaken that June tang. It's almost time to be a felinated watermelonated Kang shaken that June tang. N-word is N-word. It is Juneteenth, June 16th. Laughs in standard Republican talk show Radio Manor. Yeah, 1789 was the Constitution. That's if you don't believe in the mud flood Tartaria. Well, you know, do or don't. That's irrelevant. They don't have a place and timing for that. They have no clue. They don't know when. And something might not have. It's almost as if there was some of there's something very empty between 1850 to 1860s. But it could have been before that. It's almost as if a 10-year-old could read the Constitution and realize the powers that shouldn't be don't follow it. Exactly. Palantir comes from Dan? For Dan? I hope not. We heard you fine on FTJ. Okay. Oy vey, we don't have to mention that 1877 Cars for Kids only helps Jewish children, rich or poor, to go to summer camp. You gave us the money. We never said it would help actual children in need. Right? It's got a rhyme to it. Felinated watermelon king shaking that thing. June tang. Yeah. Red team, be normal but also retarded. Blue team, be gay and hate white people. Go! Yeah. Rosenfelder funding the help the children of the Red Shield, the children of the Meat Shield. Cash for kids, yay, Edward Snowman said. Edward Snowman says, mortal immunity is one of the magical ingredients of their tribe's sorcery. Yes, it is. Edward Snowman says, it's magic. It's real. It's a real magic trick. The magic is that you believe the trick. Exactly. What did I always say? It all makes sense because it's supposed to, right? If you really think about like certain things, like everything, like you get right down to it, it's like, okay, we all know that it makes sense, but why does it make sense? What does it make sense in relation to something else that you've already confirmed or have decided means a certain thing? So if you strip everything down to nothing, it only makes sense because it's supposed to. Because it's been chosen to be the way things are. Or maybe Florida resisting the Jew jab was actually more honest than expected, and they resisted the Jew jab as Jews. Maybe. Edward Snowden a double? Thank you. Anthropic is sort of doing a cycle of love bomb devalue Discord. Anthropic is sort of doing a cycle of love bomb devalue Discard. Yeah, exactly. That's how everybody is, right? Oh wow, look, it's abundant and free, and we can frolic in the grass together. Oh look, they just sprayed it with glyphosate. Oh look, they're threshing it now, and I haven't left the weeds yet. Shit, help! Yeah, like that. Malign one, Malone. Yes. I always think Sam Malone. Then I look at his face and I'm like, that's like more like the most interesting man in the world if he was an asshole. There's an apparatus that generates electricity dripping water through a conductive tube without touching it. Nice. Edward Snowman says, what if, and I ask you this, what if there was some kind of maniac with the urge to inject, but they had no working wiener? Oh, thank you, jeez. Edward Snowman, thank you very much. Grazie. I am most appreciated. Ativ. Okay, so we're here. Only fans ruin my marriage. Well, if you're, I'm not sure what you're doing. And are you just watching other chicks and spending all your money that you shouldn't be spending on that shit? Like, I don't understand. With all the free porn, why do people pay for OnlyFans chicks anyway? Is it for the one-on-one experience? Like, no, do this with your vagina. Okay, no, see that guy in the corner? Have him stick it in your eyeball socket while the other one rails you in your toes. Yeah, good. Thanks. See you tomorrow. like, wow. A huge percent of its subscribers are married men. Meanwhile, many young women are turning to the platform as primary source of income. You know, they lie and say OnlyFans was just for celebrities and people that were well known to the public, so they could do special, it's like a Patreon. And they're like, oh, this is like OnlyFans. Yeah, sure. It immediately turned into a porn site. Whereas Patreon hasn't yet. Maybe that's where we need to go. I have a Patreon. Wink. Ew, those are little girls. What the fuck? Why? Why? Anyway, there's that crap there. There's OnlyFans statistics, trends, demographics, and user growth from a couple months ago. OnlyFans addiction, the rise of a new porn addiction. Gooning! Oh, it's coming from a black MD. An MC who's an MD. Yo, sup? I don't care what her fucking opinion is, honestly. Look at this. Does anybody care what Janelle John L? That's not how you spell Janelle either, you fucking retard. Janelle is, I believe, an Italian name. Does anybody give a fuck what that thinks? Oh, good. Detroit, Michigan, where all the smart people go. Yeah, okay. Well, never mind then. Should your spouse have OnlyFans? No, unless you're a loser. Male or female, you should be doing the work for them. You should be, I don't care if you're the chick, you should be bumping that butt back and forth like this and going like this with your flips. If you're not, then that other dude, the dude, should be going to like your neighbor's house. Real life is always better, is all I'm saying. It's just cheaper and less drama to do it solo. Usually. Unless you're paying for it on OnlyFans, I guess. And she can say, I'm going to tell your wife. And then extort you for more money. Simple ending is now $99. That sounds really weird in the context of should your spouse have OnlyFans. Simple ending starting to sound like happy ending. Only $99. Can't get away from it. OnlyFans ruined my friend Mandy's life. Your friend Mandy had something to do with it. Her own ruining of her life, right? Where she held at gunpoint and said, stick your fingers in your cooter, or have 5 guys come over your house and rail you. No, pretty sure she didn't. So there's the lady, and there's her online phone. People are so fucked. It's so funny. Create an account to read the full article. Well, blow me then. That costs extra. Okay. Let's see. I just heard either my daughter or Rebecca or both come home. I thought I heard the dog just been barking, but this time I heard doors. So let me see what's going on over there real quick. And by the way, if you haven't yet, it still only says 239 freaking followers. Go call some friends. It's the same 5 viewers every time. Call a friend. Get them to click the button. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, look, go ahead. Oh, wait, there's a couple here. Rocky B33 says, is this live right now, or is it real, or is it Memorex? If I'm reading your it's totally it's a recording. Seaman, one a day. Like lines of cocaine, bottles of aspirin. What are we talking about here? Oh, I won a day Ghost Energy drink. 271K. Is that an actual thing on here? That's funny. That is pretty funny. I was asking my reader. Okay, like I said, I gotta say Oda to Rebecca, but it might be quick, so let's put this weird thing on here. I have no idea what it's going to be about. Homosexuality and pre-codes. What does pre-codes mean? I don't understand what the fuck a pre-code is. Edward was wrong, yes. Bela Lugosi was a piece of shit, yes. Okay, next. Next? Oh, before the codes. I get it. Yes, censorship. Okay. They call it Horleywood, right? Because it's Jews. Basically, this is their first stop for soft porn. Horleywood. And right away, they went to debauchery and perversion at the child level with cartoons. Have fun. Be back in a second.
Chocolate soda, please.
Throw me the salt, bozo.
Oh, for heaven's sake, why so rough? Whoops!
Goodness gracious me.
So what, did alcohol turn them gay? Is that what we're just, or some sort of potion turned them gay? Pansy. Oh, to Pansy. So demons turn into fags. Got it. Wow. Wow. What else is on this channel? Just out of range framing. Cat fights in the pre-code era. I think that's when we just... Oh, there's many of them. Apparently there's a whole series of the pre-code couples sharing beds. Remember the Leave It to Beaver? They slept in separate beds because that's normal. And a good way to break up the family is to even just show that. It slips into the subconscious. I think this is the one we just watched. What the hell did we stumble on today? That was just in the cartoons. There's all kinds of weird shit going on in these things. Betty Boop's underwear? Yeah, okay. All right, that's enough. And here, let's read this. OnlyFans is a subscription-based platform where creators post exclusive content. Yeah, okay, blah, 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 in the form of photos, videos, and live streams to which subscribers have to pay to access. Although it's known mostly for hosting adult content creators, the platform also hosts creators from different fields like fitness, music, lifestyle, influencers, cooking, gaming, and many more, but they all have to be fucking. They have to be gaming and fucking. They have to play music with part of their one of their genitalias. They have to be lifting weights with something other than their arms. OnlyFans started to go from a niche content platform in 2016 to a $7.2 billion revenue powerhouse in only 5 years, an astonishing 2,570% increase since 2019 with 377.5 million registered users. There's less than that in all of America, apparently, according to statistics from some year or so. And 4.6 million active creators. These are the users. These are the ones who are gooning over the other 4.6 million creators. The platform has fundamentally revolutionized how digital content creators monetize their work. This report analyzes their statistics, demographic patterns, revenue trends, and emerging insights about this fast-growing creator economy platform. So it went from 13.5 million users in 3 years from 2016 to 377.5 million. Gross site. Crazy. That's 2024. That's 2026 now. Creator revenue distribution. Total, this is, like I said, this is Berlin, but it's more discreet, right? Because you don't have to go out to the clubs, you don't have to go out on the streets and do the prostitution thing all up in real life and shit. You could just go to your phone in your closet, hide in your closet under your bed or something. I don't know. And you can even be like in a family, which is retarded to give money to freaking cam girls like Larry Wheels did. He had such an addiction that he was like blowing all of his money on cam girls. How much does a man have to jerk off? You know what? Not testosterone, but performance enhancing drugs, they mess with your mind. And since your hormones are being put through the roof through unnatural means, it will mean that you also have more than more than a normal drive. I heard Rebecca smashing things around because I had mentioned something about wanting to get rid of the clutter. So she's gonna be violent for the next 3 days and call me all kinds of things and be a bitch in front of my daughter, simply because I started cleaning and I was like, "Let me help get some of this shit out of here," and she flipped out. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I will do it without her approval, and things will just disappear, and she won't even know they're missing. And I don't give a fuck because pack rats are retarded. Mental patients. OnlyFans reflects typical patterns as far as gender balance goes, with a heavy skew in the subscriber population. The subscribers are predominantly males, ranging from 78.9% to 87%, approximately 300 million users. Of course, there'd all be. You think girls go on there to look for dudes? I think girls are, finger banging themselves over a dude? I don't think so. So any dudes who are on there flashing their junk, they're flashing it at dudes. They're not flashing it at other chicks. At chicks. Female subscribers come in at about 10% to 21.1%. That is 37.5 million users, while the contribution of subscribers from the other or undisclosed category is only 2 to 3%, estimated at 7.5 million. This clearly demonstrates the male-dominated nature of demand on this site. Males, a lot. Females, a little. The other undisclosed. What do you mean? You can either be. This is bullshit too. FeedSpot, you're playing into the lie. There's only male and female. What's other undisclosed? You can't be other unless you're a fucking alien, but you would still have to have a gender. Which one is it? These are the two things required to have intercourse in order for something to have. Ta-da! Unless you're an amoeba. Perhaps if you were an amoeba and you're using OnlyFans, you might be able to bud off and make another one of yourself. Potentially. Female. There's no other undisclosed. It's like, oh, I'm a cat. Oh, I'm a he who thinks he's a she, who thinks he's a he, who's still attracted to other opposite sex of the first thing. User age distribution. 18 to 24. See, that's horrible. 25 to 34. That's a bigger group. 35 to 44. Luckily, that's a smaller group. Still a lot, though. 45 to 54. They can still crank the old yanker, huh? That's 37.5 million. 55 to 64. That's the thank bottom line for Viagra. And 65 plus years, yes, definitely thank bottom line for Cialis or Viagra, because otherwise, the hell. I mean, I'm assuming they're not. I'm assuming they're not all Italian. They don't have the natural. They don't have the natural Cialis already pumping through their veins. Greater gender distribution. Again, the other thing is going to make me want to punch people in the face. Creator income distribution. Top 1% is 15 million a month. What? No, 15,000 a month. No, that says 15,000 millions. What does that mean? 15,000 to millions per month? Is that the range? Yeah. Okay. So let me read up top. OnlyFans income is very unevenly distributed. Most people fucking suck and hate their lives and have shown their pussies or dicks for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Except maybe it was hot out. OnlyFans income is very unevenly distributed because of a power law distribution. It's a power dynamic, my friend. The top 1 to 10% of creators make the majority of the revenue on this platform, where the top 1% make between $15,000 to millions of dollars per month and hold 33%. Of course, they hold 33% of all earnings. Mid-tier and average creators earn little by comparison. Most creators make under $200 per month. Under $200 per month. Most creators. That's 51 to 100%. What's the mean 51? Oh, average 51. What? Wait, what am I saying? What am I reading here? How can you? I don't understand how they're breaking that down. But okay, whatever. The top 1% is shit tons of money. Everybody else can go suck it. Literally, top 10%, $5,000 a month. That's not. That's like you could sell hot sauce and make 3 times. I was doing that. So I was making at least this number or better, way better than that number with my store. Way better than that number. And I never had to show anybody my dick. And I didn't have to have anybody put one in me, which is always positive. Iggy Alazia, 90.2 million. Coco, Mia Khalifa. Jake is a dude. Kendra Lust. I bet you that's really her last name. Valentina Nappy. She nods off a lot because of heroin addiction. Erica Mena. Daniel Peskowitz. Feely Mouskowitz. Fivel Goes West. Brigoli. Sabrina Nicole. Those are 2 first names. What's your last name? Karina Koff. Sounds like a Jew. Okay, anyway. Yes, of course, the most would be in the United States because they want us all to be debaucherous retards. And of course, by, I guess that India and Africa don't have internet yet, or China. Is that why? Because you think China would be all over that stuff, unless it's banned. India, they don't have any poop porn, so they're not into it, I guess. Fuck yous. Oh, I'm sorry. Frequently asked questions. How many OnlyFans does it take to screw in a light bulb? OnlyFans has about 4.19 million registered creators and 305 million fan accounts as of 2025, and yet still no light bulbs. How many women are on OnlyFans? 4.19 million creators. Right, you can get lost in that, and you get it's like you have to have a presence somewhere else, like on Instagram, I guess, to show off your goods, and then try to entice them over to OnlyFans. Right? Sounds like a lot of effort. Or better yet, here's what the other people do: is they get some fucking scumbag like Jack Doherty or some other scumbag like Clavicular who pretends often online that he doesn't promote pornography, and if their porn stars show up at a club, he doesn't go to it. Meanwhile, he's a pimp for fucking OnlyFans with his OnlyFans agency. So, whatever. Conclusion, everybody sucks. They're all jerking off, and you shouldn't shake anybody's hand. Okay? That's it. And everything's going Weimar, but it's underground Weimar. You can't see it on the streets. So you don't know just how debaucherous everybody is. Send me the freaking list. Oh, he did send me a list. This is bullshit, this list. Are you serious? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. 30. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I'm going to allow this. Yeah, I'm going to allow this. That's all right. It's all right. I wanted 50 cases. I got 36. All right, guys, you got to make up the other cases. Just one sauce at a time. Just send me some orders, all right? All right. I'll get my van fixed, and I'll be able to pay the bills. That'd be awesome. All right, it says money, dead, trees, termites, whatever. I don't know what that says. Hold on. Just got to join the Patreon. The midday video is totally worth the membership. Yeah. I'm disappointed we don't have a troll patrol tonight. Actually, I'm glad they don't stop for a while. Yeah, I'm not interesting to anybody anymore. I'm just kidding. It's because I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. I think I pissed them off and I'm like, yeah, all engagement's good. Thank you for all the dislikes. Like, we didn't make him mad. That sucks. Boring. FDA Moderation Act, my page. Tons to look at. They basically waived our right to informed consent. Of course they did. We're property. Remember, it's all an act anyway. I have to have a kratom. I'm losing my shit right now, and I'm gonna walk into another fucking ambush. So I'll be back, and I'll read some more when I get back, and then before I close it out, because we're getting to that time. I'm running out of shit to show. I don't know. I don't really want to show him.
It's also okay.
Shut up. Let's see. You got anything better than this stupid fucking premise, penguin? You son of a bitch. Already back to their old trash. I don't care. And I'm kind of beyond. You should really see this movie type of fucking lines. Don't care. Don't care. Refib over here had something going on recently, I think. Nope. I was lying. I was a lying liar who lies. Riot has kicked off at World Cup. Yeah, that's what they always do. I don't know why people are making a big... This is like the most insincere fucking reporting ever. Especially when they had retards going on like, oh, the Muslims are tearing down... Like, not Lutnick. What's the other faggot name? Mark Levin. The Muslims are tearing down France. They're just invading the shit out of everything. Fuck these things. Why do these pop up? Why is that there? I didn't do any of that. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, no, that's what happens with soccer. You remember that year where the Colombian guy on the U.S. team kicked the ball into his foot, and the ball deflected into their net, and they found that guy in Colombia riddled with bullet holes in a ditch. Shit happens. Shit happens when it comes to the World Cup. Okay? Just happens. Let's leave it alone. Meanwhile, the Japanese clean up the stadiums because they're decent human beings. I would do something like that. Except I don't touch fucking. I don't touch plebes garbage. They should be doing that themselves. No, not that either. Let me see. Let's go back to the tube. Bricks and mini dicks? No. Quail chicks are cool looking. Wow. That's cool. Quails are awesome. And they look like humans when you shoot them. I'm just kidding. When you eat them. I mean, when you see them frozen. I hate Asmongold. Say it again. Worldwide chaos, and a foiled terror attack. Everything's. It just happened, but it didn't. I just so dishonest, bro. Just stop. You don't need to do that. Breaking Bad, but his hat grows proportionately to his ego. Oh. The original Techno Viking. What's this? We can dance if we want to. We can leave this world behind. You can act like you come from out of this world. We can dance. We can dance. You ever meet a guy that looks like that? I have. He hugged him or he bit him. It's one of the two. They made everything look stupid and weird on YouTube now. It's hard to tell if you're looking at a short video or a longer one. That's Anne Margaret. What the hell is wrong with everybody? Everybody's a fucking weirdo. Sorry. Everybody looks too young. Oh, sorry to hear that, bro. Can we get anything that's not 2 minutes long? Anything? Jesus, Jones and Mary. Just need to get up and take a fucking trade and piss. That's it. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. And then, dodge some bullets. High blood pressure, yes. Yes, I'm getting there. Thanks for asking, you sucker of cocks. Let's see. Let's see if we get anything in this category here. Whatever that means. All right, we'll put fucking this stupid shit on there. I don't like Frank either. I used to. We were friends for acquaintances for a very short period of time. Not that short, but still. I think figure out what kind of a pussy he is when it comes to like not wanting to upset his audience, which was mostly all pro Trump, and then like certain things you can't say because you can't say the Jew word. It's like, so what are you here saying? What are you here talking about then anymore? You're arguing things and like I'm going to take a strong position on something that's very safe. Well, then you're an asshole. I'm going to talk about this bullshit, right? Okay. Alice Rosenblum. She's actually on the thumbnail. In case you didn't know, I guess you didn't know, as I say in that song.
Take a look at this.
Hi. It's nice to finally meet you. You're much fatter in person.
What?
You're much fatter in person.
You're much fatter in person. And, he has a much longer, elongated, bumpy skull in the back, too. And he gave her apparently like hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. And she's a cunt to him. It's like, you know why you have your lifestyle? Guys like that. So maybe you should be a little bit more. He's obviously pathetic, but show some respect because otherwise you would have nothing.
There's a moment where this OnlyFans model, Alice Rosenblum, meets a top
Jusenblum, high flying, so flying,
top fan of hers. This guy over here is sitting down. This is the prostitute over here, and this is the John over here. And he's about to say, this guy over here has given over $100,000 to her. Just through the screen. Here's money. Here's money. Show me your butthole. And I don't know what the hell guys get out of that. Take a look at this.
Hi. It's nice to finally meet you. You're much fatter in person.
What?
You're much fatter in person.
Fatter?
Yeah.
Motherfucker's gonna charge back. Oh my god.
So what kind of things are you into?
What kind of things are you into? Oh, I don't know. Finger painting. I mean, I don't know. Like what sector of the spectrum this guy is on, and how he even had $100,000 to give. Like, damn, man. Jeez. Can young men out there invest in new media? Something that's going to help them, like a good conversation, what all that stuff. Chasing cooter on the internet that doesn't even acknowledge you because it's through a screen, and this is so nuts. It's a lot of things break down here. There's messages for everybody, but yeah.
I don't really want to talk to you after you said that. That was so mean.
But he gets a pass. Like, he's giving you like millions, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You got. Hey, listen. You got to take anything he says at that point. That's what he said. I mean, what? Like, you have sold yourself. You have no leg to stand on.
Anything you want to say about yourself?
Yeah, but he's also the leg that would be. She has no leg to stand on. Meanwhile, he's humping that leg. Frank, come on, you gotta get hip with the jokes here. I'm right on top of Frank the whole time, which is gay, so gay. There you go. He wears the New York hat, so he doesn't forget where he came from. He's in Connecticut, but consistency.
Anything you want to say? I'm telling you, something. He's Asperger's at least.
Because I'm scared.
Well, no, it's not even so much like, oh, there's these problems. It's called everybody went through the vaccine schedule and their parents didn't stop that from happening. Okay, first, that's number one. Number two, you live in a world now where nobody has to socialize with each other and they can have a fulfilled life of stimuli looking at a piece of fucking this shit right here. This shit that I set down a little too hard the other day. And there was a pen on the table and it cracked. It was already lifting. And then so that's that. And it doesn't respond to touch anymore. Just like she wouldn't respond to his touch unless it was like squirming away. So there's girls that make this kind of money, and then you have to ask yourself, are they by themselves in these videos, or are they getting railed by someone new every time? You would think those would be higher ticket for entry ones. And is there more money in that, or is there more money with the solo stupid shit? I'm curious where people's heads are at and how pathetic they really are. Do they want the one-on-one experience type of thing? I don't want to see you with other men. You know what I mean? That type of thing. Even though there's 50,000 other people watching them at the same time, holding onto their small arm, doing those things. Maybe they do the overhand. I don't know. Look at the guy's head though. It like literally has like a little knot on it. It's like he's wearing a hat that has a little fluffy ball on the end of it. But no, we've grown up in a society where social skills are not necessary, so everybody sounds awkward and weird. And especially if they haven't had sex because of that same lifestyle of like being an introvert.
Motherfucker, I'm scared.
Nice to finally meet you.
What did he say?
Scared.
Motherfucker, I'm scared.
Nice to finally meet you. Are you guys dead ass right now? I'm like, I don't know.
No, like it's literally dead ass. Like, it's not even a joke.
Stop saying dead ass. That's so fucking gay. I hate the terminology. I hate the degradation of language.
Like most of them are like the scripted fake podcast, but this motherfucker is like actually your top spender.
So I wanted to know, what do you bring to the table dating wise?
Wait, I'm sorry, guys. I can't focus.
So she's very uncomfortable. This goes on. They finally asks her
because
to
she
leave.
has no substance. He's asking, "What do you bring to the table, dating wise?" Not like, he's basically saying, "Bitch, I bought you like 1,000,000 times over." Let me make this clear to you. In other countries, I technically own you. Okay, so I'm asking you, what did I buy? What did I pay for, and was it worth it? Give me some answers. Since obviously this type of transaction doesn't work in America, God damn it. I gotta read the fine print next time. You know what I mean? Like those are pretty legitimate statements to make, like, or questions to have. So what exactly do you bring to the table besides nothing? You're a jooch, like, and the fact that you will continue to whore yourself for money in a relationship, which would mean you'd have to be a cuck to allow that. Like how long does it go for? What? What are you saying? Camera screen. What about camera screen? What are you talking about? What are you saying, Karen? And what are you saying? I don't understand what you're saying. You moved. I know. I moved to the left side. because Frank is on the right side. And I said it was gay to be on top. Okay? He is, when he's small on the screen, is right where I am. So I moved to the left. So when this video is done, I'll move back over. Thank you. I'm talking to you on my laptop.
Eve, listen to this.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it nice to meet him?
You just wiped it on your own leg, you retard.
See, this is the problem here. She goes on to say, "I'm really scared. Kick him out now," and all that stuff. I think she's sitting down with that Clavy guy. I don't know what the fuck.
Oh fuck! It just said he gave her $2 million. So the dude has enough money to give someone else $2 million so he can ogle at them, which is gross enough as it is. And what a waste of money. People who have money don't deserve it, as is true. What would I use it for? Armament, plates to make things that will be fired at us eventually bounce off, or at least be absorbed. An RV, things for our family, food to supply, a bunker underground. That's about it. I'm good. Air conditioning. I like air conditioning. Oh, and a fixed fan. I would have a very fixed fan.
Give a shit about these people. But here's the thing. The internet, OnlyFans in particular,
they're worse. They're worse than the Gooners, right? They're low life scumbags, and they think that they're worth something. They think that they're better than people who jerk off to them, and that's the mistake. That's the mistake. Because this bitch on her own, if she wasn't selling her fucking pussy, would not be making just $2 million on one guy. And think about this. That's probably the last time that guy gives her another fucking penny. Alice Rosenblum. Oy vey! Or something of that nature. Maybe she's a degenerate German. It's possible. Is repulsed after meeting a guy who spent $2 million on her. The fact that he can spend $2 million on her and she doesn't realize that she is dependent on him goes to show the level of her intellect. That's pathetic. I don't know how much OnlyFans got of that. Probably a lot. The Jews are funding many bombs to drop on kids because of her. Many missiles to go through the chest and those tungsten bombs that blow a little shrapnel into little girls' heads. That's what she's created for them. And she wipes her hand on her own leg, her own bare leg, like a retard. That's like smearing it in, actually, from shaking his hand. And what's wrong with him? Like, besides his general appearance, which is nothing he can fix, the dude is obviously doing something that has nothing to do with his looks to be able to afford $2 million to give her. My point is, if she wasn't a whore, she'd probably have zero skills because she has zero skills. She should be thankful that she's getting attention from somebody who can afford that, and how much of that is her entire wealth altogether. Is she that stupid to try to? Because obviously this is going to be shown. He's going to see it. Never mind hurting the guy's feelings. Embarrassing him in the world. And why? Because he gave her $2 million. That was his crime. That's why she should treat him like that. Fuck her. She's a little demon. I'm really scared. Kick him out now. Fuck you, you dirty whore. Hey, this guy gave you all his money. The only reason why you're here, in this present day, with all the things that you have, talking to me on this balcony overlooking Miami, is because of this guy. Ew, he's gross. Kick him out. Did you not catch all the other things that was being said there? I guess not. So good. I hope she ends up in poverty. I hope she realizes she's gonna have to do something other than maybe she'll have to start selling her cooch on the corner because she's used to showing and flashing it off as it is. Maybe that's what she'll do next, and that's when she'll get all the, she'll bounce back a little bit. And then, I'm sure there'll be some sort of crack or meth in her future for sure.
She's staring at the John for the first.
It's kind of nice seeing Frank again, honestly. Like I don't agree with half the shit he says anymore, but I've like you go through your progression, you excel beyond other people. I'm not saying him. I'm saying just like the things that people say, right? Like that. Yeah, that used to work on me, or yeah, that's really not even scratching the surface. Or there's about 50,000 books I've read between the first time I've heard that and now. And it doesn't hit the same or whatever the fuck stupid kids say. That's the difference. This is like training wheels to the shit that we talk about. You're not going to get wowed by something that he talks about, when you're probably going to have to you're going to have to watch him very, very obviously cater to an audience that believes a certain way and he doesn't want a mutiny. So they were pro-Trump. A lot of them were pro-QAnon at the time. So he tiptoes around that topic. And then there's also, can't talk about Jews because that demon cunt, America's favorite Kabbalistic grandma, Roseanne, the fucking miserable bitch bar, says, I know. Hi, Frank. I love your show. Yeah. So obviously he's got some Jew power behind him. So he can't be biting the hand that feeds like this cunt does.
Time. Okay? OnlyFans in particular has taken the perceived danger out of prostitution. It's crazy. I mean,
like I said, Berlin, right? This is virtual Berlin, bro. You don't know what you're attracting, but this guy, whatever creepy thing you think he is because he's awkward, it's because all he does is spend money on fucking camp girls rather than have a girlfriend. That's what that technology has done to people. He's obviously able to I don't know what he's doing to make money, but he's doing something. Doing something that she can't, because the only reason why she's got it is because other people just give it to her. I mean, I don't know how old she is that before I say that. Hold on. I'm assuming she's old enough. I would definitely give it to her, but I'm not sure if I would. You got it. You got what I mean.
The danger and the shame. They almost like.
It's a hate fuck, okay? You know what that is. Hate fucks are probably better.
Make prostitution glamorous. And then every once in a while, you have to stare
that would have been
in the face.
That would have better. Oh my God. I want a red hat. I need to get a red hat and write that on there. Make prostitution. What did he say? Hold on. I got to back it up. I need to know my slogan. Hold on.
Almost like make prostitution glamorous.
Make prostitution glamorous again. Not that it ever was. Maybe in like the temple days. Make prostitution glamorous again. MPGA. It's only one letter difference. And the P and the A, I mean, you could kind of just like cut off one of the legs and turn that into a P. MPGA. Yes. Make prostitution glamorous again. I love it. I'm stealing it, Frank. I'm getting the hat before you do, you fun of. I'm putting it. We're merching the fuck out of this before the show is over, or at least after the show is over. I'm gonna buy one. I'm gonna wear it. Make prostitution glamorous again. Everybody's gonna want one, and it's gonna say, I don't know. OF is like old and fat or something like that. Yeah, old and fat. Make prostitution glamorous again. What do you think? Something like that. Maybe it'll be a shirt.
And then every once in a while, you have to stare your shame in the face. So many people, but mostly young girls, aren't thinking clearly about the consequences of being a full-time or part-time prostitute. because the internet has allowed them to feel this false sense of security,
right,
about being able to sell their buttholes without having any contact.
Yeah, but if you really want to get the big dollars, Frank, you have to have your taint tattooed. You have to have some sort of like swirly word written in your anus crack there, in the hole. You gotta get that tatted. So every time you spread the old cheeks, you're saying you're making a statement. It's not just you blowing smoke, if you will.
No
hot air.
Butthole selling. And you get to do it from the comfy setting of your bedroom or on vacation on a
Pretty
beach.
sure it's the wrong hole that they're interested in, but I could be wrong.
Or something like that, whatever the hell it is. And, back in the day, she's like, please, I'm scared to get him out of here.
Okay.
How does he not know how to go full screen? Does he? He runs a show. How do you not know how to go on full screen? Frank?
Scared. Like,
Is he? Watch. He's gonna pull. This guy right here is gonna pull Larry Wheels, and he's gonna sniff the guy's chair. Larry Wheels sniffed his wife's chair when she got up during a stream. He literally leaned over and while he was on stream. Now he's gonna do it about the dude. They might cut away. They might do a little, editing so that he can, he doesn't have to live in the same shame. But he did it.
kick him out now.
And then Clavicular sniffed the guy who sniffed the chair.
Yeah.
Like right now. I'm dead ass.
I'm dead ass. If you say you're dead ass, I would think to myself, you're stinky, decayed shit and butts. That's not attractive. It makes me want to throw up on you and then burn you alive.
Give you over $100,000.
She's really scared.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? Yeah, you used to have to put yourself out.
Now.
Yeah.
Like right now. I'm dead ass.
Why would we get him out? You said place your chance. Give you over $100,000.
She's really scared.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? Yeah, you used to have to put yourself out on display. You go down to Hunts Point or something like that in the Bronx, and you hang out on the street corner and you show off the goods, and hopefully somebody comes and picks you up. That's it. And then you have to get into the car with people like the autistic John over here and let them do their business to you, and all the while you're praying that.
And remember, you can't do volume or quantity at this time because you're working on one customer at a time rather than like a couple hundred, 5,000. So the money is not as good. You'd have to do a whole lot of extra work to get to the level of what she's at. So it's just not even realistic, the comparison. It's really not. It's not a realistic comparison unless you're like Bonnie Blue and you got a whole afternoon and you do that weekly.
A, he actually pays you at the end. B, you're able to walk away from it. I mean, the emotional damage is going to be par for the course, of course. I mean,
of course, the horse, until because he looks like a horse face.
No matter what, digital or actually going out there and working a corner.
He's talking from his previous job before being a podcaster.
They are going to be in intensive psychotherapy down the line just because of what they're saturating the internet with. But if you're actually working a corner, forget about it, man. I mean,
he had a hard time.
You're talking about that getting beaten, killed, catching some sort of a disease. Just don't know. It's such a bad bill of goods, and this did.
See what I mean by like, okay, this rambling tangent is like, is this entertaining to someone, or is this just an oversized child talking because he's got to fill some time before his next bullshit segment comes on?
This digital buffer has got people thinking that prostitution is respectable, and that I don't think they're ever really ready to.
What's weird is the ones that actually do have sex on the webcam thing. It's not just showing your hoochie coochie poochie doochie live for dudes. but it's also like, putting things where they don't belong, and some, that type of thing. The ones that actually like have somebody there to, go through the motions, if you will. That's just like a live porn peep show thingy. I'm wondering which one draws more attention. Which one is more lucrative?
Meet the people who are sending the money.
That's how they should do. They should do that all the time. It's called deterrent.
Crazy.
So how else are you going to stop girls from choosing this life? Easy money, or without any type of, accountability, or, facing the reality. No embarrassment, no shame. You can do all the horrible things without the shame. You can do it behind, like, unless you present yourself to the public, how are you really even known outside the OnlyFans circle? But when you start telling people, yeah, I'm OnlyFans and that's how I got rich, well, then that's because you decided you wanted the rest of the world to know, So really, it's self-contained, rather than if you go around in that town where you live in and you start fucking everybody. They know who you are, and they know what you do for a living. And anybody who's in a relationship or married probably doesn't like you. Fuck it, Frank. Fine. You asshole. Look at a lot like Krampus with Andrew Cox. That was a long time ago, 5 months ago. Ozzy laughs when D. Snyder brings up Megadeth. Okay, Ozzy's also a piece of shit, so I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. Okay, let's see. We got that. We get to that one. Thank you again, Edward. Anthropic is sort of doing a cycle. We did that one. Line. Edward did that one. Thank you again, Edward. Let's see. Oldest profession and proud of it. Is normally able to make more than enough babies, but how are cam girls supposed to make enough babies before they become barren? It's a harlot genocide. Poor cam girls are gonna get old and ugly and not own anybody to punish worth punishing. That's funny. Blum. Yes. Rosenbum. She belongs. She's got a security badge. Tiki launch, hell victory. Love bomb, devalue, discard. That's how love, hate, love works, no? Love bomb, devalue, discard. Yep. She's hi, sweetie. She says, and then she gets the money, and then she sees it in person, and she has to be what do they call it? Immature little how about everybody focused on the guy and not on her, or the fact that she acted like an immature twat when she was rubbing her hand on her own leg like a retard because she was doing it for attention, because that's what she's used to. Attention for the wrong reasons. All right, let's see. Atlanta, Coca-Cola, Santa Claus, Deliverance of Lucifer. They want to learn to lay kids don't belong to you. I think it's where we're at. Modernization Act. Is it just me, or does his? Okay, fine, Karen. Hold on, I know you're gonna freak out. There you go. But now I'm on top of the words. You see? Nobody can read what I'm saying. All right. Look like he got punched. The smart tech guy with a rubber ducky in the background talking about Anthropic. No, he has dark circles under his eyes. Lots of Sicilians have that, especially ones that don't get enough sleep. But yes, he has. That's a thing. I was just thinking that. Italian eyes. Yep, Serbianville says Southern Italy. Exactly. Hiya. As you guys talking to each other. Enshittification, also called platform decay, is a process where online platforms and digital services systematically decline in quality over time to maximize short-term profits for shareholders. Nope. It's called communism. There's no longer anyone else. There's no competition. The enshittification is because where else are you going to fucking go? Everybody is going to produce the same shit product with a different brand name, but all the brands are BlackRock. So just because it is on paper a different corporation, a different company, they all have the same pool of money at the end of the day. This is the same girl, I think. This one right here. The same pool of money. So you're either going to buy from this person or you're going to buy from that one. Either way, you're going to buy. So they can lower the quality on everything. And yes, it's good for better profits, but that's not the point. The point is the lack of inspiration, the destruction of everything, turning your vehicle from something that was beautiful, symbol of freedom, to your worst nightmare hell ride. I need a house cleaning burglar or just a wife. Basically, you need one of each. Malone is Alphabet. I forgot who traced it, but him and McCullough are total tools. Of course, McCullough is. People believe them, and it's frustrating as fuck. Exactly. They just hijack shit, and then they use it, repurpose it, and teach, misdirect you away from other people who have actually said this with earnest. Oh, damn, I got sunburned today. Whoa, I already had a phenomenal tan going. Ouchie. Look at it. Yeah. You wanna do a tan off? Let's do a tan off. I get this part is like white, but this side isn't. Let's see. What are you trying to search? I'll try. No, I'm good. Enshittification survival stockholders, and thanks. It's quite enlightening. You guys are talking. Probably picking your raw tomorrow. Like your scabs? Oh, close by farm. I gotcha. And yogurt tallow with liver. Right. Dang it, Daniel. I wanted to frolic in the weeds, but now that moment is ruined. You hyped it up, then brought that thing called reality into the picture. Yes. It's how every dream ends these nights. Wow, this seems innocuous and completely unthreatening environment I'm in. Ah! I was scared there for a moment. I almost thought there was going to be peace and happiness. Probably pick it. Oh, yeah. You already said that. Why does it say that twice? Did I not just scroll through all that? Good night. Nighty night. Like him. I gotta go to bed. Good night, Serbian Bowl. 15,000 millions? Come on, more math is subjective. Thanks. You've cut 4 of the 8 jalapeno peppers and all have moldy seed cores? Yeah. You read your later comments. You read your later comments. Are you saying I did or didn't? Or you tell me to? What are you fucking trying to say? House cleaning burgers and all that stuff. Like, what else do I need? I'm spending night farms around here. No, okay. Put a smile on my tummy okay. Best hot sauce on the planet. I promise. If I'm wrong, Dan will allow 1 Karen joke per unsatisfied customer. Yes, I get you, buddy. She's cute. She did a phenomenal job there. And saying, oh yeah, Rebecca. Yeah. Yes, sometimes. Too bad she's also harboring like several Dybbuk. You know what Dybbuk are, right? Disembodied evil spirits, and they all hate unity and love. It's tough to navigate. without a chainsaw and a shotgun, like Ash going through the Evil Dead. But other than that, everything's great. Okay, well, guys, I think we're gonna call it tonight. Why? Because of 3 hours and 49 minutes of my life and your life. And you've got more important things to do, like watch me leave and go to the elliptical, which you won't see. You can just take my word for it. You got to go find these camp girls anyway, right? You got to show them your respect and care and love. Wait, was there more? No, that went backward again. That's weird how that does that. All right, what was this last one? Simple endings is here for you. That still sounds gross. Okay. And I have to tell you something that's amazing. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing. And if you don't know it already, it's okay. I forgive you. This is my hand on your shoulder. I forgive you. I forgive you. There we go. Had to figure out what my hand placement was. Now I'm going to ask you to do this, and you're going to do it because you're awesome, right? You're going to go to this YouTube channel. You're going to follow Awesome Hot Sauce. Why? Because it's not going to fucking matter if you do or don't. So if you don't, you're just kind of a dick, right? So do it. Same thing with this Rumble channel for Italian Unk. Okay? And then you and someone you know, you don't have to do it yourself if you've already done it, if you're not into this shit. That's fine. Share the link. Remember, B-Day Girl until July 2nd. B-Day Girl for 10% off at this site, which is awesome. Literally, it's called that. SemperFryLLC.com. Dr. Peter Glidden, membership link. Boom. 11 a.m. tomorrow, my time. He'll be on to answer your questions. And yes, I can probably Google Voice it so that we still have call-ins. Probably. But you guys haven't called in a while. You guys are pussies who text or send messages. It's okay. You can put it through the oh yeah, I didn't tell you that. If you can't be there for the actual show, you can always do the Buy Me a Coffee link. And then I'll ask your question when you get there. Okay? And then you can watch the replay. Ballbusters for 25% off membership for a lifetime. And then that's the one right there. That's the one. Code BB5 for 5% off for life. But it's at a 10% off site, so it's a total of 15% off. See what I'm doing there? Whole food multivitamin, that's number 1. Hold on. I don't have one for the Alaskan cod liver oil. Alaskan cod liver oil, number 2. Scroll. Fulvic-Humic blend. Big screen it. That's 3 months and 10 days worth right there. That's not a monthly expense. It's every 3 months plus. Okay? Okay. And then. You need the IP6 Supreme with an inositol right there. Blah, blah, blah. And then you should also get a core copper. Core copper is right. Well, and a whole food C complex. And the core copper right there. Bam, bam. But those aren't necessary, but they were good add-ons. And anything that you get from this site that you search around at and you get all excited about, you can use code BB5 at checkout and still get the discount. All right. Oh yeah, everything scrolled up. Okay. Guten Nighten. Be more like this guy, less like this guy. She's not actually sitting on his junk. He's looking at his phone. She's like, supposed to be like a webcam girl. These are webcam girls. And this is what we used to be. This is what we are now. Most people. Can't imagine why we're not destroying all these tyrannical tyrants. We would have never let it get to that if we were still this dude. But we're not. We're this dude. By and large. And he's pretty large. So let's fix that, eh? All right. Stop funding their bombs to blow up babies by using their boobies.